Welcome back. It is our final morning of live coverage of the baby races. Weekend number 3 of the Rookie Showcase wrapping up here this morning at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And it is a picture-perfect one in Campbellville, Ontario. 18 degrees right now under sunny skies as we get set to go with a 14-race marathon today featuring the boys, both trotters and pacers in action. 14 in total. Couple of breaks today. We'll take a break after qualifiers number 5 and 9 this morning. And as well, we are trackside today because we've got the complimentary owners breakfast happening in conjunction with that. Greg Blanchard, Mark McKelvey, so happy to be with you again this morning. Mark, we're going to have maybe trouble not being distracted today. The smell of pancakes and bacon wafting through the air here just behind us. Kind of a fun way to wrap up our live coverage.
It certainly is. It's been a good couple of weeks here of the baby races. I guess we're coming up on 3 weekends here now. And as we've seen, the numbers have sort of increased. But now we're starting to see these horses move on to the races. And I look at today's entries, for example, and I think of a trainer like Blake McIntosh, who was so prominent in the first couple of weekends. And I talked to him last night. He said he only has 4 in today. That's just kind of the progression of it. They're ready to move on. And I know we'll talk about how some of these 2-year-olds have been faring on the racetrack and in different jurisdictions. But today, it's still pretty busy. 14 races across the board, all colts and geldings. And as you mentioned, with the owner's breakfast happening, that's going to be going on just a little off behind us over at the barbecue and the patio. It's a good opportunity just to get people out to the track to see the future stars, as we say each and every day. And as well, I think on a day like today, with the way the conditions are, I think you're probably going to see a couple of nice-looking efforts that you're certainly going to be wanting to know. Who was that horse? And remembering that name.
Picture perfect conditions, excuse me, and a lightning fast track. We saw that last night. You and I were talking before we came on. 3 sub 150 miles last night for pacing mares. The top class, not shocking, but a couple of races on the undercard too. So this track's about as fast as you can get it. Weather is perfect today. We saw 53 and change miles a week ago, and I think we've got the types of colts that will see something similar to that, especially the ones where the connections have something big on the slate right off the bat. Yeah,
next week, of course, the first stakes race for 2-year-olds here at Mohawk will be the Tompkin Gears, which happens on Thursday and Friday. There's a division for each and every 2-year-old category. So you're going to have the fillies one day, the colts another. And you want to go into that. And if there's any indication from last year of what kind of speed you got to go, you pretty much got to be ready, especially if you're in that pacing colt division, to be going at least 52 you expected. And these horses certainly are capable to step up and be ready, but you could see probably a few trainers today hoping to get a good time on their horse just to make sure that they are ready and fit to go into a stakes event like that next week.
There's a look at the early schedule. The Tompkins Gears will kick things off, an open event here June 26th and 27th. And then the OSS program gets underway in early July. July 4th, we'll have 2-year-old filly pacers in gold divisions. And then the boys the following night on July the 5th. And, it's a fun time of year, and we're getting early indications based on what we've seen the last couple of weeks of what horses we would expect to see trying the gold first times out, and I would think we're going to see several of those potentials here this morning. Let's take you back to yesterday, though, before we get started today, just to go over some of the highlights. Another really impressive session for fillies yesterday, both trotters and pacers. Star of the card, I guess you'd have to give it to trainer Greg McNair. 4 winners from that stable yesterday, and all on the trot, which I thought was a little bit interesting.
Yeah, that's notable for sure, and I thought his trotters have obviously we know they looked good because they were getting to the winner's circle essentially yesterday in those qualifying events, but the way they were doing it, even off the bat, early on in the day, there was a horse, Walner's Grove, who the week before I thought you could just tell through the wire that Doug McNair had that one in behind a rival, just letting her do her own thing. And then as we went on later in the day, some big fractions really set up to allow them to get a real quick mark on an alarm detector filly named Barbara May in 1:58 and 3, one of the quickest trots we've seen in these morning events. So the way they were getting them done, a little different style, but across the board, the barn has to be pretty happy.
Ian Moore, 3 more winners, and Lavender Sealster from the first crop of Century Pharaoh was the fastest of the day and sent out by that stable, 54 and 3. You mentioned Barbara May on the trot. 4 winners sired by Cattle Wash. So going into yesterday, we had a graphic talking about top stallions in North America with 2-year-old winner so far, combining both pari-mutuel and qualifiers. He was tied for number one in the category going into yesterday with 12. So with 4 more winners, I didn't go back on today to confirm, but he's certainly right up near the top in overall wins so far with 2-year-olds.
It's been quite the debut so far, and I know the money hasn't really been on the line just yet, and that's coming up in the coming weeks. But if you've got a cattle wash, the reports you get through the winter, I don't want to say you take them with a grain of salt because, typically trainers are going to be pretty honest with you, especially when they're new stallions and new sires coming out there. They will tell you, they're really catching their eye or they're really liking what they're training down. But, man, these cattle washes have come out and just looked terrific, and they've got that size and that power that is probably going to allow them to rack up some earnings early in the season. The fastest you talked about on the pace was at 54 and change mile. I thought the most impressive, and to no surprise, was a cattle wash filly for Doc Moore, PNG Shadow, who kicked home in 26 and 4. And yesterday it was a headwind in the lane. 26 and 4. I mean, if that had been the week before with some of the conditions we've had, that's 26 flat. I'm not even going to say it's out of the realm of possibility that wasn't sub 26 final quarter speed. That's an impressive looking filly who I'm excited to see get out under the lights at nighttime.
Yeah, and we're not surprised to see him having this kind of an impact. He had a crop that raced last year in New Jersey, his first sort of full crop, and they frankly just dominated there. Manolette was a top performer, and that one continues to toil as a top 3-year-old in the New Jersey sired program. Smooth Dream has been the really breakout horse this year. He's 6 for 6, a winner in 49 and 2 there. Recently as well. And then Reckless Abandon, who was the New Jersey Sire Stakes champ last year at 2 and already a leg winner this year in 150. So, a host of proven performers south of the border, and the first full crop here in Ontario this season looks pretty exciting as well. An exciting group stepping onto the track here for qualifier number 1 as we welcome everybody this morning, both those on track who are here to enjoy the owner's breakfast that is happening here just in behind us, and to those tuning in from across Canada, across North America, and even worldwide this morning. Great to have you all on board. A big thank you to all of our sponsors as well. We'll recognize all of those throughout the morning too for helping make this coverage possible. Scheduled to have a full field of 8 here in the opener, Mark, and we talked about Century Pharaoh clicking with a winner yesterday in Lavender Sealster. We've got Granite Sealster going to the post here. This guy was scheduled to go a week ago, so we're going to have a look out on the track and see if he is there this week. He was scheduled to go and was scratched from last week's session, but right back in to go. So obviously, nothing serious with him that kept him away. And interesting to see this guy. He's a sibling to a good one, $333,000 winner, Grandeur Sealster.
Yeah, Gold Rush Sealster as well. That's another sibling there under that First Dam Glamour Sealster who made 6 figures and was in the double digits in wins, showing lots of speed. So plenty of speed in this family. This is Century Pharaoh. And Century Pharaoh himself out on the racetrack, he had a mark of 49, but he was a hard hitter who made really good money racing in some of those top tier stakes events. And again, from his first crop. And Doc Moore obviously going to support them heavily, as you would expect. And he is scheduled to drive this one as well. And I was up in the booth there for a couple of those days, but he was putting on a little bit of a driving clinic, wasn't he?
He certainly was. So I'm having a look here. I'm looking behind me and just want to make sure he's out there. I haven't seen him as of
let
yet.
us down again. No. But I
We'll
thought looking at this group here, something I noticed yesterday from those fillies was the fact that, and we've noticed it with some of the other horses as well, when they're going that second time, is you look at the first line, and then what they do the next time out is completely opposite. How many of them did you see yesterday? It had to be 2 or 3. I remember noting during the calls that had got away near the back their first time out and then were put right up on the front and cut the mile this time. And I look at a horse here today like LD's Hunter, who kicked home in 26 and 3 in the debut qualifier a week ago and raced from off the pace back in 7th. Is that one that maybe goes forward? Similarly, the 3, Never Leave Harlan, got away 3rd, 27 seconds on the end of it. Maybe that one gets into the mix as well.
You're right. That was something that we were noting yesterday, and I would expect to see that today. I always find it, of course, intriguing to watch the qualifiers, and the ones that turn heads obviously get your attention. You're looking forward to seeing them come back. But there's always a few that you watch finish sort of mid-pack, but there's something about them you liked, and you're anxious to see if they can take a big step forward in week 2. So we've got a few of those today, and we'll try and talk more about them prior to the races. So they're getting set to line up, and it looks like. It looks like Granite Sealster may be out again here as I'm looking over there, Mark. I have not seen him at any point here. So it looks like we're down to 7, and that's the one that's missing. So here's Mark with the call. We've got 14, as mentioned today. It's the boys in action this morning and a field of 7 pacers to kick us off.
So they're lining up for our first qualifier today, and we'll start with number 1, Cooper's Hill, a gelded son of Better Than Cheddar. Eric Nadeau trains J.R. Plant to drive, $16,000 buyout of the London Classic. Number 2 is Stonebridge Bluff. It's Jody Jameson for Carl Jameson, a son of Captain Crunch, $14,000 London Classic buy. 3 is Never Leave Harlan, Cattle Wash Colt, Doug McNair for Greg McNair. This one and grad of the Lexington Select Sale for $50,000 US. 4 is out. 5 is Twin B Stanley, gelded son of Cattle Wash. Kyle Fellows trains Louis Waugh to steer, $55,000 London Classic purchase. 6 in the field is Stingray Deo, a son of Perfect Sting, trained by Gary Murner, Bob McClure to drive, $12,000 US purchase from the Lexington Select Sale. 7 is LD's Hunter. It's James McDonald for trainer Tony Beaton. This is a Huntsville Colt. And this one comes out of the Lexington sale as well, $30,000 US. Rounding things out is number 8. Lions Gustafering. It'll be Jonathan Drury for trainer Beaton. And this one, a son of Cattle Wash, comes from Harrisburg for $27,000 US. So the starting gate rounds the far turn. We've got a field of 7 to kick things off here on this Saturday morning. Welcome in. First of 14 qualifiers today. Today's action all for the Colts and Geldings. We're on the pace here for qualifier number 1. Here they come. And they're off and pacing. And coming away down the center of the track will be Twin B Stanley for Louis Waugh, trying to get that one out of there quickly with Never Leave Harlan. Over the inside is Stonebridge Bluff. Meanwhile, coming away in mid-pack will be LD's Hunter. Then we're going to go to Lions Gustafering, and then we are back to Cooper's Hill. And the last one in line is Stingray Deo. The Pacers make their way into the first turn as they race to that opening quarter marker. And out on the lead is Twin B Stanley. The son of Cattle Wash is by the opening panel in 28-4 and leading this one clearly by 4 lengths. Back in second is Never Leave Harlan. Right on that one's helmet in third is Stonebridge Bluff. We will go back then to LD's Hunter in fourth. Lions Gustafering is then racing in fifth. A few lengths then to Cooper's Hill, who is second from the back. And the trailer is Stingray Deo. Nothing changing here in the second quarter as they continue to motor on up to the midway point. And Louis Waugh shows the way here with Twin B Stanley. Second time out. This one sat third throughout in the debut qualifier. A 2-length leader at the midway point in 58-4. Settling things down 30 seconds even in the second split. It's Twin B Stanley still leading it. Never Leave Harlan in second. Stonebridge Bluff tracking along very comfortably there in third. 2 lengths to LD's Hunter in fourth. Fifth as they go by 5/8 is Lions Gustafering. Then we are back to Stingray Deo. And the final one in line is Cooper's Hill. Again, no change in order. They're midway around the far turn and they're ramping it up a notch now. Twin B Stanley by 2 1/4 at 3/4 in 1:27.1. So picked it up for sure there, 28-2. Third quarter speed. And into the stretch, it's Twin B Stanley trying to go coast to coast. Never Leave Harlan has been following throughout and has some room up the inside to make a bid. Is a length away, less than 1/8 of a mile to go. Stonebridge Bluff in third. LD's Hunter tips off that one as we're coming into deep stretch. A push up the inside on Twin B Stanley from Never Leave Harlan, and on the outside Stonebridge Bluff, but it was Twin B Stanley going all the way. Stonebridge Bluff was second, Never Leave Harlan was third, and fourth was LD's Hunter. The final time, 1:55.1. 28 seconds on the end of it.
Twin B Stanley out for his second qualifier, finishing third a week ago, individually timed in 57-1, drops a couple of seconds today. Left for position last week and settled away third, put right on the engine today. Son of Cattle Wash getting it done with a 28-second final quarter. And And like the response I saw, Mark, the horse looked like he was maybe going to tire a little bit or might get picked off potentially by one on the inside, one outside of him closing too. But it seemed like when he saw that others were coming, he responded and found a little bit more in the end to win it. So this Son of Cattle Wash, now 1 for 2 in qualifying action. Out of a sister to the $1.8 million winner, Arts Speak, and this guy, $55,000 London Classic yearling purchase, holding off Stonebridge Bluff, another graduate of the London sale, and Never Leave Harlan, another Son of Cattle Wash, was a good third. So nice way to kick things off, 55-1, an impressive group.
For sure, and what you mentioned there, that one came off the final turn, kind of bears out a little, I guess drifts out a little off the rail, and I thought coming up the inside, Never Leave Harlan was actually going to maybe go by, but you're right, I think a good response. Stonebridge Bluff had a good kick on the outside there for Team Jameson, but nice effort there from Twin B Stanley. You talk about the family and the dam of this guy being a sister to the former Metro Pace winner, Art Speak. That's look at that page, you go down it, that's a pretty nice looking family. It's just that first dam. This is only her second foal. That's the first one haven't heard from yet. So, I mean, there's still a lot of potential here. And talk about $55,000 Canadian buy out of the London Classic, what could certainly set up real well for the connections here with this Son of Cattle Wash.
Yeah, and an exciting time for the breeders as well. This one, of course, bred by Twin Brook Limited, one of our sponsors here of PrimeTime Racing this morning. And shout out to Rob and Tammy, Jenna, and the crew there. They do a marvelous job at Twin Brook, and Twin B Stanley, one that gets off on the right foot in 2 qualifiers. He is a winner second time out this morning and does it impressively. Stonebridge Bluff, nice result from that one. He's now a runner-up in back-to-back efforts. He's come up against some impressive winners. He was second to Dad in that really eye-catching effort a week ago, and today solid runner-up and really closing well on the end of it.
I was just thinking that, looking back at who he faced last week and how he was the runner-up but 5 lengths back. First time out, 56-3, 27-3 on the end of it. That is a pretty good debut. Anybody would probably take that with their rookie. You just kind of ran into one that was really ready to rock and wanted to go big speed. And here today, closing up, getting a little closer on the end of it. Keep an eye on that one. It's a son of Captain Crunch, so a PA sire. We've seen Team Jameson venture into Pennsylvania and those Pennsylvania sire stakes over the last few years and this year as well, so wouldn't be surprised for them to take a trip there, or maybe this is one of those guys who could go into that open stakes event next week, the Tompkins Gears.
Let's take a quick commercial break. Trotters are getting prepared to come on out for race number 2, and we will have it next.
Harness Racing Update covers the sport from all the angles, with news, opinion, features, photography, and the most comprehensive racing, breeding, and sales stories in the game from around the globe. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. Plus, HRU's popular Twos in Training series on YouTube gives you the first look at the stars of tomorrow. And the best news? It's all free. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com.
All sports dynasties share one thing.
Home run! Another world championship!
They dominate. Hanover Shoe Farms, the most successful breeder of Hambletonian champions, producing an impressive total of 11 winners, has dominated the race. Purchase Hanover yearlings at Harrisburg. Hanover Shoe Farms, a standard bred dynasty.
It doesn't get any better than that! Wow!
Some high-profile trotters coming up next in race number 2 as we shift gears and welcome you back to the Rookie Showcase. There's LP Bay, one of the first-timers in the field here. A son of Trixton and a sibling to a pair of $500,000 winners, Seacan and Willow Time. Very familiar names to folks who follow racing, especially in this part of the world. And he will be occupying post number 1 here. Mark Estel trains this guy, and Mario Baerjan, a homebred of Terry Devos of Langton, and goes back to the well with a mare that's produced nothing but good ones.
Absolutely, and we'll get to that horse in a second, but want to shout out Mario Bayarjan, who's coming up on a big career milestone. He's just a little over $100,000 away from $100 million in career earnings. Super Mario is nicknamed there, and in recent years, obviously, the veteran driver has slowed down a bit, only driving 100 to 200 starts a year. But sitting behind a horse like this, and now with his connection with Mark Etzel, there's always the potential you could find one here in a Sire Stakes race, and you never know, you could knock that number down pretty quickly.
I was going to say I didn't realize he was that close, and being that close, yeah, we should start a little campaign here. We're going to have to maybe hustle some drives for Mario. That would be quite an accomplishment to get to. Maybe reminiscent of the old, I think it was Marty Adler years ago. I don't know if this would be before your time. He did the, I can't remember the network show they did, but he was doing some driving still at the time. And the drive to 100, I think it was. He was 4 or 5 wins away from 100, and they were able to track that as they did these broadcasts, and he drove and eventually hit that milestone. So maybe we can, maybe there's a promotional opportunity here, Mark, with Mario. One of the top drivers for years and years, not only here but in other jurisdictions as well. So he gets the call behind this one this morning in qualifying action, and let's see, I think he's one of looks like two in the field that are first timers. The other one is Halton Hill, a Muscle Hill youngster from the Bob Young stable. Scott will do the driving, a Lexington yearling purchase, and this one is a fourth foal from a sibling to Temptation Deo. It was a pretty good one for Julie Walker, and one that might be familiar to local folks.
Yeah, and then you look at the Bob Young, Scott Young, what they'll do is they'll go to Lexington and they'll get a horse, not necessarily an Ontario sire trotter. This is a Muscle Hill. I look at their horse like Tregarin, who last season fared very well, was a winner of the Millard Farm Series. That was a son of Propulsion. So, they'll kind of take a peek and go to that sale and see what they can find. And it doesn't seem to matter what jurisdiction they're coming from, but also recognizing that there's lots of good racing opportunities here, even if you're not Ontario sired through the course of the summer, and maybe hoping that could be the case here with a horse like Halton Hill.
And that one by Trixton. Trixton has 3 of his offspring in this spot. We've got a couple of Green Manalishis as well. And one of those was a good runner-up a week ago. Maison Blue, post 4 this week. Kyle Fellows trains. Louis Philippois in the driver's seat. Was a runner-up and charted in 59-4 a week ago with 27-3 final quarter speed. So it looks like they are all out there for this one. We've got a full field of 8 on the trot. Here's Mark with your call.
The field for qualifier number 2, 2-year-old Colton Gelding Trotters, is going to be led by number 1, LP Bay. This is a son of Trixton, trained by Mark Etzel. Mario Bayarjan is at the controls. Number 2, Great Trickster. Bruce Richardson trains and drives, gelded son of Trixton. This one came out of the London Classic for $13,000. 3 is Halton Hill, gelded son of Muscle Hill. Bob Young trained, Scott Young drives, from the Lexington Select Sale for $45,000 US. 4 is Maison Blue, Louis Waugh for Kyle Fellows. This is a Green Manalishi colt. Number 5, Tango in the Night, another Green Manalishi. Chris Matthews trains and drives. $46,000 buy from the London Classic. 6 is Southwind Chester, Father Patrick colt. Steve Boston's a trainer. Bob McClure to steer out of Lexington for $35,000 US. 7 is King Trixton, Trixton colt. Jay Harris for Katie Graham. And 8 is Raucus. This is a Muscle Mass colt trained by Dan Legacy. James McDonald drives. A Harrisburg buy for $50,000 US. Often trotting in qualifier number 2, and away well from the inside is Great Trickster. Meanwhile, coming forward here is Southwind Chester for McClure. Outside starter Raucus is trying to get forwardly placed, while between horses is Tango in the Night. Also in behind them is Maison Blue, so they're pretty tightly packed here as everybody tries to get their spot into that first turn. Halton Hill, then back to LP Bay, and the last one will be King Trixton. Opening quarter comes up here for Southwind Chester in a time of 30-3, so Bob McClure puts Southwind Chester on the front, switching up the tactics here, and this time out and back in second will be Great Trickster for Richardson. Then we go to Raucus, who was able to land in third, length and a half better, or 2 lengths better right now than Tango in the Night, who's in front of Maison Blue racing in 5th. 6th up the backside is Halton Hill. Then we're back to LP Bay, and the trailer as they come up to the half is going to be King Trixton. Nothing changing here. A 2-length leader, Southwind Chester, was by the midway point in 101-2. 30-4 in the second split as they make their way into the far bend. And still a loose leader here is Southwind Chester, who starts to stretch it out a little bit. Great Trickster in second. Raucous is in third. Fourth as they get into that far turn is Tango in the Night. Maize and Blue's been following that rival, as we'll see if we maybe get an outer flow starting to develop. Halton Hill is on a helmet, and then we're back to LP Bay, and King Trixton's to that one's outside. So we do get a little activity mid-pack. Tango in the Night was the first to move. Three-quarter time, 1:31.2, and it's Southwind at Chester who's brought them this far into the lane now for McClure. Tango in the Night trying to advance on the outside. Great Trickster. Raucous is looking to come up the rail. Then on a back there is Maize and Blue. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. Southwind Chester still leads it. Great Trickster plugging away at the rail. Outside Tango in the Night. Halton Hill coming on late between horses. It's Southwind Chester to take it. Finishing in second. It looked like it was Great Trickster on the inside. From Tango in the Night on the outside third. 2 minutes flat the final time. Southwind Chester, the son of Father Patrick, takes qualifier number 2.
Flashy looking son of Father Patrick, Southwind Chester. And you talked off the top, Mark, about horses changing up the approach from week one. Last week, a horse got away fifth, got a mid-pack, raced evenly, and a little more aggressively handled today, showed that early speed, able to control things, and kicks home in 58-3, 29-2 on the end. A pretty cool and confident looking driver, Bob McClure, on this occasion. This guy, Father Patrick, he's a sibling to a good one. Southwind Coors, another familiar face here locally, a $500,000 career winner. Steve Bosson, the trainer, campaigned the other brother, El Toro Loco. Had kind of a brief stint in Ontario. Did set a track record in London well under Steve's tutelage in the preferred ranks there. So some familiarity here, and I'm sure, Steve, I know was pretty high on this guy all winter long training, and would like what he saw, I'm sure, this morning.
For sure, and I mean, that damn Southwind Cabaret, she's produced 6 winners to date, and she's got a good-looking 2-year-old here coming along, as you mentioned about just kind of the nice approach with this one here this morning, who kind of very similarly to the first winner we saw today, brings them to the head of the lane, comes out a little bit, and you get pressure from both sides and responds nicely. So good start here, and picking up a mark of 2 minutes flat for this fella, Southwind Chester, who came out of Lexington Select Sale for $35,000 US.
And when I think about Southwind Coors, El Toro Loco, from watching them race so much and then seeing this guy, it looks like the mare perhaps stamps them a little bit in the way that they travel. They all carry the head low like that, and they're all pretty nice gated, pretty slick gated trotters. Southwind Chester, now 2 qualifiers into his young career, and he is a winner. So Father Patrick offspring, not sure what their game plan will be with him initially. Maybe Tompkins Gears. That's kind of an obvious
possible
one, potentially.
Should mention the
3-year-old
brother, too, as well, Southwind Caspian.
Right.
That's one that raced in the good times of Limbs and just missed making the final for that race. Was only beat 3 lengths and finished 6th, and then followed it up with a good second here earlier this week here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. So, this is a pretty active family, to say the least, is all these foals out of Southwind Cabaret.
And a nice, we should mention the runner-up, getting a look at him now, Great Trickster. That's a real nice step up from last week. He qualified at Grand River. He took a bit of a different approach, and that was individually timed there, 2:06.4 on the 5/8 mile oval. 2 minutes today and lapped on the leader at the wire. Nice effort for that $13,000 yearling purchase.
Bruce Richardson has to be pretty happy with that. Brought this one over to the big track from Grand River after the first time, which I know there's a couple in today that took their first tours over at Grand River and then now come to Woodbine Mohawk Park. For Bruce Richardson there, he's always had a couple, seems year in and year out. He shows up with one that's ready to go and compete in those sire stakes, and hoping that can be the case here with Great Trickster.
So let's thank some of our sponsors here this morning. We'll take another break. Be back with more Pacers in a moment.
Winback Farm of Ontario is home to outstanding sires, including three-time millionaire pacer tattoo artist who is new in 2025, the last great son of the legendary Sub Beach Somewhere and multiple stakes champion Beach Glass, Meadowlands Pace and Ontario Sire Stakes champion Lawless Shadow, and the richest pacing stallion in all of harness racing history, the great Hall of Famer Mick Wicked. Also standing at Winback Farm, Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Betting Line by MVP and Trixton. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com or call 914-773-7777.
We are back getting set for a look at Pacers in qualifier number 3. It will feature a pair of return winners here this morning. Horses that did qualify and win a week ago. Total of 69 of the colts have seen action at least once prior to today. And here's a look at the winners who are returning. Two of them in here. Windor, who was one of those that opted for qualifier at Grand River, was a resounding winner there. And Till the Cows Come Home as well. They will be two. A little bit later, we'll see odds on Bullfrog along with Rough Deal, Dad, DA Mastermind, Lifting Legend. They are the returning winners that we'll keep an eye on here this morning. Two of them going head-to-head here. Windor is a son of Bulldog Hanover from the sports writer mare Winks. Mike Vanderkemp does the training and the driving. And this one, homebred of Diana Secord of Fergus, who owns this colt. And I didn't get a chance to see that qualifier at Grand River, but the line certainly looks impressive.
It does, and got a mark there. Did that son of Bulldog Hanover, joining a few others now, as there's been several winners, not just here in Ontario, but also a couple south of the border, as we continue to watch with plenty of intrigue on this first crop of Bulldog Hanover, and it's probably just sounds like a repeat record as we talk about the fact that, you know, this is, I don't know if test crop is the right word, but again, at the same time, he was doing double duty that year. But if they keep showing up, and I know I've seen a few people mention this, just imagine what the prices could be if he gets a couple big winners this season. When you go to the yearling sales later this year with some of the mares that he got, could be some big-time prices come this fall.
You're right about that, and we'll see how things unfold. We've got a couple of Bulldog Hanovers in the field here. Lions' first Bulldog qualified a week ago. Good runner-up, 26-3 last quarter for him. One that's intriguing in here is a first-timer who goes by the name of the Cattle Dog. He's a cattle wash colt, and get this, a sibling to the great mare, the Barn Dogs Watchin'. Of course, one of the top mares locally here for a number of seasons, a sub 150 record for her, made over $750,000, just recently retired from the racetrack. So a lot of eyes going to be on this one as well. And I want to talk about Crazy Train. This guy, son of Sweet Lou, didn't win last time, but his final quarter was a head turner, 26-3 to just miss. I liked what I saw from him. So we've talked about this before. When you come into today, it's only qualifying, but there are certain races that have a little bit of intrigue around them based on what you've seen so far. And I'd say this is one of the two or three that we would label that way this morning.
I would think so. And I mean, Crazy Train's a horse that I really expect's probably going to be put right on the engine here today. This one's probably going to leave out, and it was that good 26-3 final quarter after sitting third, pulled going to three quarters in that debut, and kept on coming on. Didn't miss by very much at the wire.
So we've got a field of 8, and we see them taking up their position here. It looks like they are all out there as scheduled and set to go. Real interesting group in here. Just a single first-time starter, that is the Cattle Dog, who we mentioned. The other 7 will all be going out for their second time here this morning. Starting 8 underway. Mark with the call of qualifier 3.
Here is the field. Number 1, DA Let's Dance, a Dancin' Lou colt. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair drives, $60,000 buy from the London Classic. 2 is Crazy Train, a Sweet Lou colt. Desiree Jones trains. It'll be Bob McClure driving. This one came from the Lexington Select Sale for $17 US. 3 is Windor, Bulldog Hanover colt. Mike Vanderkamp trains and drives. 4, J.M. Mazingan, a cattle wash colt. Ryan Stewart trains, Trevor Henry in the bike. 5 is Shadow Cove, gelded son of Shadow Play, trained by Dr. Ian Moore. Tyler Moore drives. This one comes from Harrisburg for $40,000 US. 6 is Till the Cows Come Home. This is a cattle wash colt, trained by Carl Jameson, Jody Jameson to drive. $70,000 US from the Lexington Select Sale. 7, The Cattle Dog is a cattle wash colt. Dave Maneri trains, Louis Waugh drives. And number 8 is Lions First Bulldog, a Bulldog Hanover colt. James McDowell for trainer Anthony Beaton, $25,000 from the London Classic. It's a field of 8 for today's third qualifier. Gate picks up speed. Here they come. And they're off and pacing in qualifier number 3. Pretty even beginning across the board, but Crazy Train ultimately is going to push forward. Windor, the next door neighbor, will be able to tuck in behind. Till the Cows Come Home is driving forward, had to get around Shadow Cove. That one a handful and is off stride, and that really takes the Cattle Dog wide into the first turn. So as they go to the opening quarter here, the leader is Crazy Train. Second is Till the Cows Come Home. Windor is in third. A wide first turn there for the Cattle Dog with Waugh. Then at the inside is DA Let's Dance, going back to, that's going to be Lions First Bulldog. And then the last one, Shadow Cove, the opening quarter up on the board in 28 and 3. They move up the backstretch, and it's the Sweet Lou colt Crazy Train put on the engine, leading it by 2 Till the Cows Come Home in second. Then Windor is following along in third. Tightening up fourth was DA Let's Dance, followed by Lions First Bulldog, still there on the outside to Cattle Dog, and then Shadow Cove. They were by the midway point in 57 and 4, 29 and 1 in the second quarter. Racing to the far turn, and McClure shows the way here with Crazy Train. It's Crazy Train after a good-looking debut, doing the road work here this morning. 2-hole ride for Till the Cows Come Home, who stalks closely. Also right there is the son of Bulldog Hanover, Windor, who's only 3 1/4 off the front. In fourth is DA Let's Dance. Then we're going to Lions First Bulldog, Shadow Cove, and the last one to Cattle Dog. 3/4 and some struggles up front here for Crazy Train, who goes very wide coming out of the turn. 3/4 was 127 and 1. So Crazy Train out into the center of the track. Windor has popped off the back of Till the Cows Come Home. Also trying to come on up is going to be DA Let's Dance. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go. Till the Cows Come Home has the advantage by a length. Windor on the outside continuing to try and get a bit closer. Till the Cows Come Home, and Windor, Till the Cows Come Home, wins it by a neck. Windor was second. DA Let's Dance was third. And finishing fourth was Lions First Bulldog, 154 and 3.
That was an impressive final quarter sprint for the top 2 finishers there, Till the Cows Come Home, holding a game Windor at bay by a diminishing margin in 54 and 3, 27 and 2 final quarter. Get a look at the slow-mo here. And yeah, both colts showing plenty of enthusiasm over that final quarter mile. Finishing right up with them, a good third, DA Let's Dance. Second start for that one. Lowers his time by quite a bit this morning. And Lions First Bulldog wasn't far off there in that top 4 as well. I'd say the top 2 there were doing a little bit of sprinting. The 2 in behind weren't being pushed too hard, just to keep pace there in that spot. And it's some adventurous goings on for others in the field. The Cattle Dog, not the first outing you would want there, just a victim of some bad luck there at the start. Not sure if there was an equipment issue or something. He was kept wide there. It looked like, frankly, like Louis was trying to maybe pull him up there. So I don't know if there was an equipment issue or what.
Yeah, and it was in that drive into the first turn where the 5 Shadow Cove went off stride, and I just thought initially that Waugh was just staying wide because he had to make sure he got around that breaker who was kind of carrying him out, but then, to your point, just stayed on the outside of the track. So not entirely sure what was going on with that fella. There's another one that had a tough morning here in the 4JM Mazingin, but you can always come back and just to the drawing board for a few of them. And the leader there, Crazy Train, as I anticipated, thought he was going out to the lead and he would cut the mile, but then coming around that far turn at 3/4, next thing you know, he was out to the center of the track, which sort of changed the complexion of that one.
2-year-olds, right? Still a learning process for some of them, and some work to do. Whether it be equipment or other, a little bit more training and refining with some of them. But a lot of talent on display here again. And qualifier number 3, as Till the Cows Come Home, is now 2 for 2 in qualifying action. This one, another son of Cattle Wash from the Arts Place Mare Dance Until Dawn. Team Jameson, we remember. A Cattle Wash colt that they unveiled early last year named Power Code, and he was a good one for them, and this guy may be following in the footsteps.
Absolutely, and I mean, certainly has the pedigree to be a nice one here. This is a half-brother to Fashion on the Beach, who was a winner of over 200,000. Also a 49 performer in the family, and Beach Boogie, who was a hard hitter. That one over 40 wins, over $500,000 earned, a mark in 49 and 2. So there's plenty of winners down the page on that one. And for Team Jameson, it feels like they kind of come out guns a-blazing so far with these youngsters this year.
How fun is it going to be when the first gold event for 2-year-olds surfaces here? I mean, it's going to be incredible to watch.
Looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to next week, just getting some of the idea of who's going to all be in that Tompkin Gears, which I think a real good fact about that race is if you look back to who the top 2 finishers were in last year, the first time that event was held here at Mohawk, at least in the pacing colt division, it was Prince Hal Hanover and Light Up the World. And a year later, I mean, that's late June last year of their 2-year-old season. A year later, both were in the NA Cup.
Yeah, great point. There's a look at the schedule again. Quick look at that. Tompkins Gears going to kick things off for the rookies here, June 26th and 27th. And then the OSS rolls into town for the rookies. July 4th, going to be the first event this year. 2-year-old filly pacers. Their colt counterparts will compete here the very next night. Let's take another quick commercial break. We're going to stay on the pace. Qualifier 4 coming up when we return.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns this October to the Western Fair District Agriplex. The nation's leading consigners choose the London Classic, offering hundreds of yearlings by many of the sport's leading sires, all under one roof at one of North America's best venues. Recent sale graduates include Canada's Rookie Pacing Colt of the Year, Stonebridge Wizard, O'Brien Award finalist Paquette, and O'Brien Award winning double millionaire Logan Park. The London Classic Yearling Sale, where your dollar goes further and where champions are found. Find out more at londonclassic.ca.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com or call 914-773-7777.
A number of 6-figure yearling purchases that we will see in action today. This is 6 figures based on the conversion to Canadian dollars, and we're going to see one of them in action here. His name is Brindle, post 4 today for this one. Converted to Canadian, $174,000 price tag out of the Harrisburg sale. Some of the others we're going to see later on throughout the day. And high-profile horses that you keep a close eye on in here. Brindle, there's a reason this one, had such a hefty price tag at the sale. Bulldog Hanover. So first crop of that sire that everyone was excited about, mated with the world champion Cabrini Hanover. She's already produced a $1 million winner and sold her sister. A lot to like about the pedigree here. I think a lot to like about the qualifying effort from a week ago as well. Finished third, 27-4 individual final quarter. Sets him up well for probably a better, a lowering of the time here today.
Yeah, and you know what I find very interesting is I think when Bulldog Hanover really popped off and became that world champion, we talked a lot about the fact that, what was he, the 12th foal from the mare? I want to say something like that. And here's one, Brindle, who's the 14th foal from Cabrini Hanover. I mean, she was a champion going back to the early to mid-2000s. And I remember as a youngster watching her and just how electric she was out on the racetrack. So here's her 14th foal, and it's by Bulldog Hanover, and it's bringing six figures. I mean, if anything, I know a lot of people get a little skeptical after a little while there, but I mean, that pedigree just reads for itself, doesn't it, when you're talking about this youngster in Brindle?
And when we think of regal pedigrees and mating world champions, it doesn't get much better than this. Number 8, Solidarity. This one's sired by Tall Dark Stranger, who I think we're going to see a bit of a resurgence from this year on the stallion side. And made it here with Kissin' in the Sand, world champion mare. They all Nancy Tactor bred Solidarity in here. And this is one of the ones that we spoke about earlier, horses that were kind of sneaky good last week that I'll keep a close eye on. This is one that I really liked the body language in that third place or fourth place finish, I should say, from a week ago.
And without any inside information with Solidarity, you look at the fact that that first qualifier was on June 7th, so gets a week off. But it was, I remember us talking about the fact that was a really good looking effort, one of those that kind of flies under the radar. So now a week off, comes back here today. We'll see what the strategy might be. An outside starting spot. So is James maybe just going to kind of duck this one and tuck in? We'll see. Or do they kind of really want to find out what they got?
Right, and I'm going to correct myself again. He was third last week. Okay, there it is. Final answer. He was home in 26-4, but absolutely under wraps doing it, and charted in 58-4. Colt that had a good individual final time clocking was Jasper Hill, paced in 55-3. His own final quarter was 26-3. And it was only good enough for sixth in that qualifier. That's pretty amazing. So he's already shown enough that I would expect he'll be getting a better result here this morning. Although, again, there's no purse checks up for grabs here today. It's just about doing it the right way and getting them ready for that first pari-mutuel start, which for many will be coming up very soon. We've got the fourth race lining up behind the gate. Mark, with your call next.
One is Cabo San Lucas, a Better Delight colt trained by Kyle Fellows. It'll be Damian McClellan to drive. This one came out of the Harrisburg sale for $30,000 US. 2 is Dr. Dave, gelded son of Cattle Wash. Francis Dumichel trains, Travis Henry drives. 3 is Spare, a betting line colt trained by Rick Zeron. J.R. Plant will drive. This one from Harrisburg for $27,000 US. 4 is Brindle, a Bulldog Hanover colt trained by Dr. Ian Moore. Jody Jameson in the bike from Harrisburg for $125,000 US. 5 is Speak to the Baron, an Art Speak colt. Bob McClure for John Pentland. 6 is Jasper Hill, a Cattle Wash colt. Tony Beaton trains, Doug McNair drives. 7 is Healy Pass, Cattle Wash son. Dan Legacy trains, Louis Waugh steers. And number 8 is Solidarity, a Tall Dark Stranger colt trained by Dominic Ladew. James McDonald drives. And this one was purchased at the Lexington Select Sale for $72,000 US. Starting gate to the top of the stretch, a field of 8 for qualifier number 4. And they're off and pacing. It's Dr. Dave getting the first call as Brindle now is stepping ahead, and it'll be Brindle out to the early lead. Dr. Dave at the inside second, crossing over from mid-pack. Speak to the Baron's going to try and get in third. And then at the inside fourth is Spare. Off stride went the 8 Solidarity. We go back to Jasper Hill, who's in front of Cabo San Lucas. And then we are racing back to Healy Pass, and Solidarity gets back on the pace. The opening quarter, courtesy of Brindle here, 29-3. So Jameson puts Brindle, the son of Bulldog Hanover, right up on the front. In second is Dr. Dave, a gap of 4 lengths, and going back to Speak to the Baron. We'll find Spare, who's racing in fourth. Jasper Hill behind that one. Cabo San Lucas is tracking that rival. 2 lengths then to Healy Pass, and Solidarity is the last one. Another one having a little difficulty with Speak to the Baron, as that one in third is taken to the outside by McClure, so others will slip up a spot. Meanwhile, up front, it's still Brindle by the half in 59-1. Brindle leads it by a length and a half. After a 29-3 opener, you can make that another 29-3 split. And just tracking very closely there is Dr. Dave. Dr. Dave had a good kicker in his first qualifier, home in 26-4, and he's sitting right up on the helmet of Brindle, who shows the way, and Dr. Dave, not waiting any longer, pops to the outside. Spare is back in third. Then fourth is Jasper Hill, followed then by Cabo San Lucas. On that one's back is Healy Pass, and then we go back to Speak to the Baron and Solidarity, 128-1 for 3/4, and they square off at the head of the lane. Trying to respond was Brindle on the inside. Dr. Dave on the outside fired the first blow going to 3/4. Brindle battles on back as these two slug it out with an 1/8 of a mile to go, and Brindle regains the lead and tries to get away on Dr. Dave. It is Brindle who faced a little pressure. No problem. Brindle will win it by a length. Dr. Dave finishes in second, well back to the others. Tight battle there for third. Looked like Cabo San Lucas over Jasper Hill. The final time, 1:54-4, 26-3 on the end of it.
They were doing some pacing on the end of that mile. Brindle faced a stiff challenge turning for home, but rebuffed that impressively with that 26-3 kicker mark, as you mentioned, holding off Dr. Dave. Dr. Dave, an impressive effort in his own right. I don't know if he maybe got a little bit green there in the stretch, kind of darted wide, but got back on, kind of on a better stride late and closed up with the bit in his mouth. Brindle, Dr. Dave, impressive. Cabo San Lucas a little bit further back, but rallied nicely to pick up the show spot, and doing that rather comfortably as well. So Brindle talked about the pedigree on this one, a Bulldog Hanover colt, a brother to the $1.1 million winner, Solar sister, Dr. Dave, the Cattle Wash colt, and named after the late David Goodrow, passed away a little bit earlier this year. So it was purchased from David and named in his honor. And this colt, I think, showed a lot here this morning as well. And the fact that he darted wide and lost a little bit of ground and then finished lapped on again in that kind of a final quarter says there's a lot of talent there.
Yeah, certainly. He gets things straightened out there. I mean, coming to 3/4 and was sitting right on the back of Brindle, decides to come out at that point. Maybe a case of that one just really wanting to go. And they sprint home, as you mentioned. So Brindle gets the time of 54-4. Then you can give Bulldog Hanover now 3 and better than 55 this year. That's the quickest here locally for a son or daughter of Bulldog Hanover, 54-4. And we talked about it. Conditions perfect here this morning to really get some good times as we expected as they ramp it up.
That's correct. Last night, the track was lightning fast, probably as fast as we've seen it for quite some time. So expecting some big times this morning, and we have already been witness to that. And I expect we'll see a little bit more later on this afternoon as well. Some precocious performers still to come here. It is the Rookie Showcase, our final weekend of live coverage here. We've been covering the first 3 full weekends, so this will be our final day for the live coverage here, and it has been a pleasure to bring it to you here on Primetime Racing. So a look at them exiting the track from qualifier number 4. One more to go before our first break. We're going to take 2 breaks here this morning after races 5 and 9. So when we come back, it's Trotters to complete the first third of this 14-race qualifying marathon.
O'Brien Award Breeder of the Year, Tara Hills, is home to harness racing's most exciting young stallions. Green Manalishi's first crop has taken Ontario and the Grand Circuit by storm. It includes Peaceful Way winner Mona Lishi. With World champion Cattle Wash has seen multiple New Jersey Sire Stake winners from his first crop, including final winning filly Reckless Abandon. His 2024 yearlings are eligible to the Ontario Sire Stakes. Don't miss your chance to buy one of their sons or daughters this fall. For more, visit TaraHills.com.
I'm awfully glad I won.
The Hamiltonian, it's one of the most prestigious races.
It's quite a thrill. This is one of the biggest thrills of my life.
We delivered. The horse delivered. It was amazing. I can't believe it.
I am stunned. I'm absolutely stunned.
This is obviously the pinnacle.
Just something that I can't explain.
This is just an absolute dream come true.
It feels good now, but I'm sure it's going to feel even better tomorrow.
For me to do it, this is my moment.
I might have got a little excited.
Hamiltonian 100 this year, the anniversary of America's Trotting Classic. That's going to be fun to look forward to, Mark. And who knows? We might see a future Hambletonian competitor, maybe even a Hambletonian winner, come out of this group here, qualifier number 5. What a difference a year makes looking ahead to that event this year. Last year, of course, all the talk was around Carl, and it was a great, I think, proving ground for him last year. He got there, he got it done. Had some doubters, but he proved them wrong, and it was a great Cinderella, not a great Cinderella story. The Cinderella story, in fact, was Highland Kismet. And, about 50 feet from the wire mark, as just a fan of the sport, you couldn't go wrong whether Kismet held on or Carl got there to give Yannick his first win.
I'm still not sure that Yannick even saw it, though, with that driving rainstorm, that monsoon that came down. I think there's still a few of us trying to dry off that were there on that afternoon. Just kind of made it even more memorable, right? Because it's one of those things that's going to stand out when you think back to past Hambletonians, was that just wicked rain that was dropping. And I still remember I was standing further up the stretch past the wire, and the horses were gathering, getting set to go in behind the gate, and I'm looking at the infield board, and I look at the board, it's raining on the screen, but it's not raining where I'm standing. I looked to my left, it was coming, and did it ever just hit? But a memorable race, adding to the history of the Hambletonian, and we'll add another one with Hambo 100 coming up in August.
And this year, a little bit of a different story. You don't have that one definitive big headliner that looks dominant right now. I would have thought coming into the year, Maryland was going to be close to that. But so far, it hasn't been absolutely smooth sailing for him. And, that'll just add to the storyline if he can get there and win for Marcus Melander, who's been trying to win that event as well. And I think some Canadian hopefuls this year could be very prominent if everything goes smoothly in the next month and a bit.
Yeah, Moticon Legacy last week, 150-2 in the good times, matched the all-time trotting track record here at Mohawk. Interesting enough, 2 nights later, that got matched again by Fashion Frenzy. But looking at the 3-year-olds, for a 3-year-old in mid-June here at Mohawk to trot 50-2, I mean, a Moticon Legacy is absolutely bred. Just, what a regally bred horse. He's meant to be this talented, and excited to see what he can do for Determination and Blay. And driver Louis Waugh, sounds like his next start's going to come up at Vernon in the Zweig. Really, there'll be a lot of folks here locally and across Canada rooting on a Moticon Legacy, as there is a look at his driver, Louis Waugh.
So we could be getting a glimpse at the future here. Qualifier number 5. 7 2-year-old colting gelding trotters scheduled to go postward. 3 of the 4 will be seeing for the first time. They are Mass Deployment, number 3, a muscle mass colt sent out by Rene Dion. Matt Bax, trained and driven PL Talladega, $90,000 London Classic purchase, sibling to a pair of $300,000 plus winners, including PL Rainbow Dash, a really nice trotting filly here locally. And Ace 44 Magic, the other one, a Nilsonio Dream, post 7. George Ketros trains and drives, and he owns this one as well. Second full from the mare, who's already produced a winner, and his name is Brydown Greenbee, and a sub 2-minute winner at Sarnia recently, so an improving type. And we'll see if the mare can click again with this one. As far as the ones coming back this week, hard to get a real gauge on who was maybe the most impressive of those 4 a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, typically you just look down at the page and you think that's going to kind of really pop out as to which one you'd want to keep an eye on, and all kind of with just different results, so to speak, right? Where you finish doesn't necessarily matter as much as maybe the time you went and how you did finish up the mile. I look at the number 8 Bridgie for Jody Jameson, who was clocked in 2 minutes and 3/5, home in 28 seconds. That's one that, at least on paper, has plenty of reason you would think to take another step forward. But then you look at the 2 Steady Volo, who finished second, got beat 16 lengths, right? So there's always kind of, when you get them in this first couple of weeks, the level, you just don't know what everybody stacks up against. So I think there's a few here today that for the second time out, probably expecting they can take a big step forward against this group.
Might be just as simple as, Greg McNair with a young trotter, the one to beat here, perhaps, because he won with 4 of them yesterday, and he's got Time All Starstruck in here. Good rallying fourth. One of those efforts where I think they just had probably an individual target in mind for that one, and he was 7th, and he was way out of it at the half in that last try, and then passed several horses to finish fourth and kicked home in 28 seconds. So any kind of a little step forward today, and he'll probably be prominent in this group. So 4 coming back for a second try, 3 first-timers here as they line up for qualifier number 5.
Number 1 is Time Will Starstruck, a green shoe colt. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair drives. Harrisburg purchase for $13,000 US. 2, Steady Volos, a son of propulsion. Harry Polton trains. It's James McDonald driving. Lexane select buy for $25,000. Number 3, Mass Deployment is a muscle mass colt. Renee Dion trains. Tyler Borth drives. Coming out of Harrisburg for $22,000 US. 4 is PL Talladega, a muscle mass colt. Matt Bax, the trainer driver. This was from the London Classic for $90,000. 5, I Drink, She Drives, Green Manalishi colt. Steve Boston's trains. It's Bob McClure in the sulky. This one came out of Harrisburg for $55,000 US. 6, The Conqueror, a muscle mass colt trained by Dan Legacy with Louis Waugh. Harrisburg grad for $50,000 US. 7, Ace 44 Magic, Ilsonio Dream Son, George Ketros trains and drives. And 8 is Bridgie, a wheelin' and dealin' colt trained by Courtney Bishop with Jody Jameson, a $7,000 London Classic purchase. Here they come. Qualifier number 5 as they're off and trotting. And it's the Conqueror. Going to be the first one out of there. The Conqueror pushing out to the lead, coming away from the center of the track. Outside is Bridgie. That one looking to cross on over. Will be looking for a spot. Time All Starstruck away well, held ground from the rail. It's PL Talladega getting away in 4th. Steady Volo is then 5th. Off stride went Ace 44 Magic as we go back to Mass Deployment. And behind that one will be I Drink, She Drives. Opening quarter is coming on up here for these young trotters. And Bridgie from the outside just kept working up to the lead. Clears to command off a 30-1 opening split. The Conqueror is in 2nd. Racing in 3rd is Time Will Starstruck, 2 lengths in to PL Talladega, who is 4th. A gap of 2 more lengths in to Steady Volo, who races in 5th. Mass Deployment is then racing back there, a few lengths off his nearest rival, followed by I Drink, She Drives. And that early breaker, Ace 44 Magic, has about another 15 lengths to make up to catch on to the pack, as it's Bridgie who leads it here for Jameson. Bridgie got to the half in 1 minute and 4/5. The second quarter was trotted in 30-3. The Conqueror rides in 2nd. Time Will Starstruck is 3.5 off the front in 3rd. Following along is PL Talladega in 4th. Steady Volo is racing 5th. Continuing to move along, Mass Deployment is 6th. Followed then by I Drink, She Drives. And last is Ace 44 Magic. Nobody moves to the outside just yet. It's Bridgie up on the front as they come up to 3/4, a 2-length advantage. And they're by 3/4 in 1:30-4. Time Will Starstruck was the first to come off the rail. Time Will Starstruck on the outside. Coming after the leader, Bridgie needs to make up 2 lengths. The Conqueror is inside 3rd. PL Talladega behind that one 4th. Trying to finish up well, I Drink, She Drives. It's still Bridgie with a short advantage. Time Will Starstruck on the outside, almost up on even terms, trying to push by late and will. Time Will Starstruck, Bridgie at the inside. Time Will Starstruck, Bridgie off stride through the wire. 3rd was the Conqueror, and then 4th was PL Talladega. The final time was 1:59-4. It was the son of Green Shoe, Time Will Starstruck in qualifier number 5.
And indeed, trainer Greg McNair getting it done again with a 2-year-old trotter after winning 4 times yesterday with 4 trotting fillies. Here it's the Green Shoe colt, Time All Starstruck. Getting it done in his second qualifier, knocks a couple of seconds off of last week's effort. Nice kick off the inside trip here in 59-4, 29 seconds on the end. It was Bridgie. Bridgie was right in the mix and then just rolled off stride in the late stages. So the Conqueror, the muscle mass colt, is going to rally and pick up second for the Dan Legacy stable in this spot. Time Will Starstruck talked about one of those that we thought would take another step forward here today. That's exactly what he does. And McNair didn't have this one on my bingo card, a stable just full of nice-looking 2-year-old trotters. Not that we haven't seen that in the past, just not this volume.
No, a little more prominent there with some of the pacers in the most recent years. Certainly lots of good trotters coming through Greg McNair's operation, but the bulk of what they've got here over the last couple of mornings that has really caught our eye have been those trotters. So a son of Green Shoe is Time Will Starstruck, one that came out of Harrisburg for just $13,000 US. a son of green shoe where, you kind of get some varying opinions on those green shoes. But one thing is I seems to see him, a lot of those 2-year-olds can show up at least off the hop and trot, and there's lots of money to be made early on. So that's a PA sired and Timel Starstruck who gets the job done in 59-4.
And Timel Farms from Oldcastle, Ontario, they're going to be back with full consignment this year in London this fall, and they've got a brother to this one selling. His name is Timel Rockstar. I want to remind you that full roster now up on our website, londonclassic.ca. And we'll have the pedigree pages up there probably in another few weeks as we get things finalized looking ahead to this year's London Classic. And Timel Starstruck, son of Green Shoe, now victorious in his second qualifier, winner 159-4 to complete our first 5 here this morning on this Saturday of the Rookie Showcase on PrimeTime Racing. Beautiful morning here. Tarmac really starting to fill up here, Mark. It's amazing. You put some pancakes and bacon and coffee on, and that smell gets wafting through the air, and it attracts a lot of people.
And if we're lucky, they might even have some for us here in a little bit.
We're going to take a quick break now, an intermission. We'll be letting some of the horses for the upcoming races get their warm-ups in, so approximately 15-minute break. We'll see if we can catch up maybe with some of the connections who are here today as well. So short break, stay with us here, and we'll be back with plenty more shortly. Welcome back. First break is complete. We're getting ready to go with some more action here this morning. It is Saturday, June 21st. Yeah, the month of June rapidly winding down here, and it's our final live broadcast of the baby races from here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. This will be our 6th session in total. And the Colts and Geldings are on display here today. Trotters and Pacers. So far through 5, just some of the highlights. We've had a couple of Cattle Wash Colts winning impressively. Twinbee Stanley, 55-1. And then till the Cows come home a little bit faster, 2 races later in 54-3. Brindle sent a Bulldog Hanover back for his second qualifier and was a winner in 54-4 on the trot. The Greg McNair stable, another winner after a 4-bagger yesterday with the Philly Trotters, a winner with Time All Starstruck in 159-4. And then it was the Steve Bosson's trained son of Father Patrick Southwind, Chester, scoring in 2 minutes back there in qualifier number 2. So to kick off our midway point session of races here, we've got qualifier 6, and we're back on the pace one more time. Field of 7 to go postward in here, Mark. And just a quick thought on the first 5 so far in case people that are just joining us now. It's been about what we expected. Thought we'd see some flashy times today. So far, that's happened.
Absolutely. That's what we anticipated with the conditions, and for the horses that were coming back for their second, some of them even their third efforts. It's about continuing to improve and dropping some time. So I'll see if that continues. We talked about a Bulldog Hanover impressively winning in 54-4 in Brindle, and there's a few more here we're going to see this morning, and it's excited to see if they continue to progress, including the one that's supposed to line up in this qualifier in the 3 odds on Bullfrog, who was already one of those Bulldog Hanover 2-year-olds that is a qualifying winner this year. The 7, though, rough deal. Here's a horse that 57-4 winner last week. I think 54-4. That ballpark is probably what we're going to see here today, because that's a horse that in the first qualifier on June 7th made a break when moving out to the lead, and then recovers to finish up in 26-2 on the end of the mile. The next follow-up, perfect, no problem, a winner. And the fact that they're going to go a third time here now, I'm imagining there's a little more they want to see from this guy.
Yeah, it's hard to know what to expect, and maybe they just didn't feel like they got that much out of that first qualifier, so want to probably have a time target, I'm sure, here today, no question. Field of 7, I think they're all out on the track now, getting set to go momentarily. Ran into Mark Capone a few minutes ago. Haven't seen Mark in a number of years. Great to run into him. Still riding high, of course, after Madden Oaks and a great effort of the Pepsi North America Cup and the connections. Yeah, they've opted to leave the Colt up here, which is interesting. Going to leave them up here until they're ready to go head down south to the Meadowlands pace.
I mean, that effort from the 10-hole, the effort in the elimination, how can you not be just blown away by what this horse has done? And if you weren't a believer, I'd have to think you are now.
For sure. So looking across there, it looks like we actually have some scratches in here, Mark, as I'm looking now. I'm trying to get a handle on it. It looks like the 1, 2, 5, and 6 are all out there.
The 1 is there. We just caught that one.
Okay,
But yeah,
so I think your 3, 4, and 7 are all scratched. Yeah,
Yep,
1,
so
2,
yeah.
5, and 6.
Well,
it's going to
makes
make
it a
your
little
job
easier, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we got? 1, 2, 5, 6. I don't think I can get lost here. All right. Qualifier number 6 as they line up. Shouldn't say I can't get lost. There's always a possibility. All right, field of 4 for the 6th qualifier. Number 1, Mega Moves, is a Dancing Lou colt. Tony Beaton trains. This one came out of Lexington Select Sale for $45,000 US, and the driver will be Jonathan Drury. Number 2, Borderline Mobby, is a Cattle Wash colt trained by Dave Maneri. The driver is James McDonald. Here's a grad of the Harrisburg sale for $25,000 US. 3 and 4 are out. 5 is Hangry Boy. Blake McIntosh trains this son of Stay Hungry. Billy Davis will drive. This one exited the Harrisburg sale for $35,000 US. And number 6 is going to be Count on Gord. Gelded son of Better Than Cheddar. Chris Matthews trains. Doug McNair drives. Number 7 is scratched. So just 4 remain for this 6th qualifier here today from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Qualifiers 6 through 9 coming up next. There will be a break after the 9th qualifier, and then we'll wrap things up with qualifiers 10 through 14 on a beautiful morning here at the Campbellville Oval. Temperature already climbing up to around 25 degrees Celsius. Track fast. We've seen some good miles. Let's see what we got here as we resume with today's action. Set to go. Qualifier number 6. Here they come. And they're off and pacing. This quartet is sent on their way. Who will get the first call? We're about to find out, as it looks like Hangry Boy and Count on Gourd will sort things out. Count on Gourd to forge his way to the lead. Hangry Boy will ride second. Meanwhile, Borderline Mobby got away in third. Stepped around the inside starter. Mega Moves as they set up shop driving into that first turn. So the leader here is Count on Gourd, a son of Better Than Cheddar. A 2-length advantage here at the opening quarter, which is up on the board in 30-1. Front to back, 5 lengths separates them. It's Count on Gourd, second outing for this youngster. And as they straighten into the backstretch, starts to ramp it up a little bit here. Strides out to a 2-length lead. Second is Hangry Boy. Third then is Borderline Mobby. In fourth is Mega Moves. And again, no change as they're set up coming to the midway point. So Count on Gourd for Doug McNair, trainer Chris Matthews, leading the way. Comes by the half in a minute flat. Second quarter was 29-4 after that 30-1 opener. Hangry Boy gets to track here this morning, cut the mile the first time out. In third, that is Borderline Mobby, and that one is going to go. Here comes Borderline Mobby to the outside, and this son of Cattle Wash comes up quickly, sweeps to the lead. In fourth is Mega Moves. New leader, Borderline Mobby, comes right around for McDonald, leads it by 2. After Count on Gourd got them to nearly the 3-quarter marker. That time, 129-1. Borderline Mobby into the lane. Here's one that kicked home in 26 flat in the qualifying debut. Borderline Mobby on the lead. Count on Gourd hasn't gone away at the inside, so Borderline Mobby still has a little more work to do now as Count on Gourd trying to re-rally. Mega Moves in third, Hangry Boy in fourth, Borderline Mobby, Count on Gourd, Borderline Mobby will win it. Count on Gourd finished in second. Third then was Mega Moves. Hangry Boy was fourth. The time was 1:57 flat. 27-4 was the final quarter as the son of Cattle Wash, Borderline Mobby, will take qualifier number 6.
Another son of Cattle Wash going to get done here. His third winner of the morning so far, 1:57 for Borderline Mobby. Just up in time to get it done here. Good look at the slow motion sprint. Count on Gourd, Better Than Cheddar Colt. He dug right in to the wire and measured wind on the outside there for Borderline Mobby getting it done. So the crowd starting to build here on the tarmac, Mark. Great to see so many folks out interested in watching the babies go here this morning. And we're liking what we have seen so far. And Dave Maneri trains this one. So early on, it looks like he's got another barn full of good-looking rookies to go post with this season. And we'll expect to see his name prominent in those upcoming stake races.
As you always do, right? There's a barn that's prominent each and every season. Last year was a career best season, $2.7 million in earnings, 74 winners across the board. You just think of some of those top performers, but this year already has made over 1.1. Last weekend, the trainer of Brew Hanover won the Mohawk Gold Cup. For Maneri, it's the one thing for trainers like this, though, that train those prominent horses. It is a cycle, and now you hope that your next group of 2-year-olds can keep you at that level. And here today gets a winner with Borderline Mobby, who first time out, this was a horse that sat off the pace and kicked home in 26 flat. Here today, you saw going to 3/4 that quick move he made and swept around. Then on the lead, I don't know if maybe he gets a little lost on the lead in the lane, because here's a horse that showed some wicked speed on the end of the mile the first time. But here today, once he made the front there, again, you saw Count on Gourd give him a bit of a battle back up the inside. Maybe just got a little lost, but again, digs back in.
All right, time to take another commercial break. And when we come back, more Pacers. You're watching the Rookie Showcase from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
All sports dynasties share one thing.
Home run! Another world championship!
They dominate. Hanover Shoe Farms, the most successful breeder of Hambletonian champions, producing an impressive total of 11 winners, has dominated the race. Purchase Hanover yearlings at Harrisburg, Hanover Shoe Farms, a standard-bred dynasty.
It doesn't get any better than that! Wow!
Winback Farm of Ontario is home to outstanding sires, including a three-time millionaire pacer tattoo artist who is new in 2025, the last great son of the legendary Some Beach Somewhere and multiple stakes champion Beach Glass, Meadowlands Pace and Ontario Sire Stakes champion Lawless Shadow, and the richest pacing stallion in all of harness racing history, the great Hall of Famer Mick Wicked. Also standing at Winbank Farm, Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Betting Line, My MVP, and Trickster. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
Pacers getting set to go. Qualifier number 7 as we welcome you back to the Rookie Showcase. Great to have everybody watching in today. Another worldwide audience we've seen on all of our different platforms this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, you better get another pot of coffee going here because we're only at the midway point this morning, not even quite at the midway point. Mark, we're going to take a good look at these ones coming out on track. We don't want to get caught off guard again.
Let's make sure they're all there. Is that what you're saying?
They're all there, exactly. We're trying to watch these as we're chatting about this upcoming 7th race. It's been a really interesting morning so far. And we've got another really talented, I think, looking group coming out for race number 7 today. And there's only one first-timer, and that's Sir Handel Hanover, Bettor's Delight Colts, post 6. So, again, I want to make sure he's going postward here as we're talking about him. This guy, $37,500 yearling purchase. That's when converted to Canadian out of Harrisburg. Tony Beaton trains this one for Ellen Ott of Buffalo, New York, sibling to 3 $100,000 plus winners. Nice pedigree for this one, and kind of that bargain basement price in terms of yearling purchases, or if he goes on to be a stakes performer, that'll be money well spent in here. And there's a look at number 6. So we can confirm. Finally, we've been caught a couple of times today talking about horses ad nauseum, and
they weren't there.
We found out they're not going this morning. So we'll see how this guy performs. The others all with the benefit of that little bit of experience from a week ago, which ones of this group caught your eye last week that we should watch closely today.
Well, the number 1, Beachside Lindy, was a horse that made a break back on June 7th at the start, and obviously never really got involved. But if you look at the line, 26-4 on the end of it, and actually passes a few horses after making the break and having to drop behind there. Another Carl Jamieson, Jody Jamieson tandem where what they've brought out to the track, they've all looked real strong and they've had some good efforts. Here's a son of Tall Dark Stranger who you were referencing, the second crop. Maybe this will kind of turn the corner. That first one, maybe a little underwhelming. I think it's probably fair to say, just because of expectations, what he was on the racetrack, an NA Cup winner, just a champion out there. So you have high expectations for a horse like Tall Dark Stranger, and I think it's easy for people just to kind of wave the white flag on that first crop. But for him, that second group could easily just kind of prove the naysayers wrong.
So the tarmac, again, it is filling up here this morning. A lot of owners, a lot of connections to horses. There's Wilma James McKenzie. They're watching trackside closely. They've got a couple of nice performers coming up later. Of course, Dad was one that really turned heads a week ago. They're known, you see the horses with that single one-word name. Jay, I think, is another one that comes to mind, and then they've had Kat and Jan and others in the past. So, good to have them here, and some of the other owners that we've seen here on the tarmac enjoying the complimentary breakfast and enjoying the show that they're seeing on the racetrack here as well. Twin B John B, another one that we'll keep an eye on here. The Twin Brook Farm has already had a winner earlier this morning. Twin B Stanley looked good. This is another son of Cattle Wash. First foal from Twin B Fabulous. She is a sister to the $1.2 million Wheels on Fire. I wonder if she's as big as he is.
That might be
or
hard
we'll
to
throw
do.
that kind of size.
Well, that's something to keep an eye on, no doubt. He was just a monster out there. If you ever get up beside him, just a giant. As the horses are lining up for the 7th qualifier today, no scratches this time. We've got the field of 8 lining up. One is Beachside Lindy. This is a son of Tall Dark Stranger, trained by Carl Jamieson. Jody Jamieson drives. Beachside Lindy came out of the Lexington Select Yearling Sale for $35,000 US. Number 2, What's in the Shadows? Shadow Play Colt. Dr. Ian Moore trains and drives. And this Shadow Play was bought at the London Classic for $60,000. 3 is Ricky Rocket, a Captain Treacherous colt. Desiree Jones trains. Gino Toscani drives. $15,000 from Harrisburg. 4 is French Bulldog, a Bulldog Hanover colt trained by Kyle Fellows with Louis Waugh steering. And this is a grad of the Harrisburg sale for $27,000 US. 5, Going for Broke, gelded son of Better's Delight, trained by Tony Beaton. James McDonald drives. Here was a Lexington Select purchase for $42,000. Number 6, Sir Handel Hanover, is a Better's Delight colt. Beaton trains. Jonathan Jury will drive. Comes out of Harrisburg for $27,000 US. 7, Run to the Hills, a Bulldog Hanover, trained by Gabby Sasso with Bob McClure. And Run to the Hills was an $80,000 purchase at the Lexington Select sale. Rounding things out, number 8, Twin B, John B. Francis Dumichel trains. Travis Henry drives. This is a gelded son of Cattle Wash. Here they come, qualifier number 7. And they're off and pacing. Ricky Rocket shoots out of there and rockets out to the lead. What's in the Shadows? The next door neighbor has gotten away in second. Run to the Hills is going forward this week. Beachside Lindy from the inside got away in 4th. It was Going for Broke lining up 5th. French Bulldog then going back to Sir Handel Hanover. And Twin B, John B is the last one in line. Run to the Hills. We mentioned this one flashed some early speed. 29 seconds was the opening quarter. That was courtesy of Ricky Rocket, who will hand off the baton now as Run to the Hills takes the top. So Run to the Hills, who had a 26-3 kicker in his debut qualifier but sat off the speed in 6th, is going to do the road work today. Ricky Rocket is 2.5 lengths back in 2nd. It's 3.5 then going to What's in the Shadows 3rd. 4th as they race up the backstretch is Beachside Lindy. In 5th is Going for Broke. French Bulldog is spotted in 6th. 7th is Sir Handel Hanover. And on that one's helmet in 8th is Twin B John B. 58-2. 29-2 in the second quarter, and they race into the far turn. The leader continues to be Run to the Hills. It's Run to the Hills. Just off that one was the early leader, Ricky Rocket. Still there 3rd, What's in the Shadows, trying to chip away at that deficit. Then in 4th is Beachside Lindy. Behind that one is Going for Broke, who's about 7 or 8 off the lead. As we continue back through the field to French Bulldog, Sir Handel Hanover, and at the rear, Twin B John B is moved to the outside. 1:28 the 3/4 time. The leader to the head of the lane is Run to the Hills. Ricky Rocket trying to come back on, trying to retake the lead, needs to make up 2 lengths here. Run to the Hills, still looking good up front. 2nd is Ricky Rocket. What's in the Shadows off the rail, trying to hold 3rd up the inside Beachside Lindy. Twin B John B is finishing up with a good rally, but it's all Run to the Hills who gets separation late. A good looking effort. Cruz is through the line to win by 4. 2nd was Ricky Rocket. 3rd was Twin B John B. Beachside Lindy was 4th. 1:55-4, 27-4 on the end of it. The Bulldog Hanover colt, Run to the Hills.
A second outing for Run to the Hills, who finished 4th on the June 13th program. That day, 4th by 6, and charted 2 minutes and a 5th. Lowers that time substantially today, 1:55-4. Another winning credit for first crop sire Bulldog Hanover from the Some Beach Somewhere Dam, Some Money Somewhere. This one is a homebred of Joe Tonelli of Sturgeon County, Alberta. Gabby Sasso training and Bob McClure in the driver's seat. And one of the 6-figure yearlings that we talked about off the top of the show. And nice progression from week 1 to week 2 for this colt. And Bob McClure in the driver's seat getting it done here. 55-4 over Ricky Rocket, the Captain Treacherous colt. He was trying willingly all the way down the home stretch. Twin B John B, nice rally to finish 3rd for that one. So far so good for this guy as well. Run to the Hills, that big step forward that you would like to see over the course of a week, and they're still going to have to go a lot faster. That's the scary part. 55-4 to be a real top colt. nowadays you've got to certainly have another 3 or 4 seconds in the pocket as the season wears on.
Yeah, and for this guy, as I called as they stepped away from the gate, he was going forward, thought maybe he was going to be looking for a 3-hole and just kept on going and worked to the lead, sat the outside, parked around the first turn, but no problem there, ultimately clearing, and then just once settling on the front, just looked like a real professional, especially coming down the lane there. I mean, Bob McClure, very statuesque in the bike there, coming to the wire with this guy as he was doing it well in hand, and gives Bulldog Hanover another winner here today.
And talking about certain drivers, and at this stage, a guy like Bob McClure, I think he's got a reputation of really teaching them the right way. So, when he handles a horse that confidently like he did and goes that kind of a time, it tells me that colt was ready to go there and do it well within themselves. And that's the indication I got in watching him.
For sure. And that's one of those qualifiers as well. I think as you saw, the top two kind of had that separation on a few of the others. You need to go back and take a look at who maybe was finishing up with some nice pace, who was maybe kind of bottled up in some traffic and just, kind of doing it with ease, or had they got through, maybe they would have been a little closer. A horse I look at, Twin B John B from the back, Travis Henry got that one moving going to 3/4, and then coming down the lane, just kept on picking up spots, picking them up, putting them down at least to get by some of that other pack as they were coming down to the line. There's just a cattle wash sitting at the back who now is probably going to have 2 lines that are going to show 27 on the end of it, and it's going to not have a qualifying win or a mark just yet, but a horse that maybe first time out could certainly pop off.
And you might have an indication of this, Mark. Would we expect to see? No, I suppose the Tompkins Gears are next weekend. I was going to say, will we expect to see an overnight for for these 2-year-olds?
And not everybody's going to be eligible, I guess,
yeah.
right? But it seemed this season, at least, more trainers mentioning about that race. It was a little unknown, I guess, to some of them last year of what the competition might be like. Possibility of divisions, I guess, splitting, and we'll see who all is in there. But I think for some of them, it's a good proving ground, or at least a good opportunity to see where you might stack up.
Let's take another commercial break and come back with more trotters next on the Rookie Showcase.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com. or call 914-773-7777.
Harness Racing Update covers the sport from all the angles, with news, opinion, features, photography, and the most comprehensive racing, breeding, and sales stories in the game from around the globe. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. Plus, HRU's popular Twos in Training series on YouTube gives you the first look at the stars of tomorrow. And the best news? It's all free. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com.
Looks like all 7 are on the track here. Square Gators for qualifier number 8 this morning. We're going to see 4 horses making their debut today. 3 that have faced the gate at least once already. 1 has gone twice, and that is You Can Dream, post 7 starter in this group. And we've got a host of graduates out of the London sale here, including Strobe Light, your number 5 starter. $16,000 purchase, Ben, by Erjan Training, and a sibling to OSS Gold competitor Bright Green. A 55-1 winner, and a very competitive one in what is a deep group in the OSS.
Absolutely, and for Ben Bayarjan going to an alarm detector, of course, he trained alarm detector who on the racetrack, especially as a 2-year-old, he just flashed all kinds of talent. He was a winner of the Wellwood in a track record time of 52-4, and no doubt about a winner. I remember it was just a blowout score, and finished his career nearly $400,000 earned, and kept that mark from his 2-year-old season. And we saw a nice alarm detector yesterday in Barbara May, who was the quickest trotting winner of the fillies. So we'll see what Strobe Light can bring to the table.
Yeah, a little bit underrated probably as a stallion, but as each year goes on, you're learning to give them more and more respect, and we'll see if this one can click here. It's a pretty nice pedigree for Strobe Light in this field. Real cross-section of some of Ontario's best trotting stallions here as well. Archangel Colt, Toss of the Dice, number 4, $25,000 London Classic purchase for Team Fellows. Not shocking to see them gravitate towards an Archangel.
No doubt. I mean, just keep going back to what's working and what's allowing you to have lots of success. I guess in this group of 7, everybody's Ontario side except that outside starter, You Can Dream, who we're taking a peek at right now, that being a son of Walner.
So they are lining up a full field of 7 on the trot here for qualifier number 8. We're just getting into the back half of this Saturday program. And Mark's got the call. Going to be a little bit tougher this time, Mark. You've got all 7 there.
All right, we're on the trot. This is qualifier number 8, and we'll kick things off with number 1, First Class Mass, who's a gelded son of Muscle Mass. James McDonald drives for Dave Maneri. This one came out of the Harrisburg sale for $30,000 US. 2, Hazel's Muscle, another gelded son of Muscle Mass. Matt Bax trains and drives. A Lexington Select purchase for $50,000 US. 3 is Wheeler Sealster, Wheelin' and Dealin' Colt. Eddie Green for Keelan Green. $67,000 London Classic purchase. 4, Toss of the Dice, is a gelded son of Archangel. Louis Waugh for Kyle Fellows. $25,000 buy from the London Classic. 5 is Strobe Light, gelded son of Alarm Detector. It's Tyler Borth for Ben Bayarjan. Also a grad of the London sale for $16,000. 6 is High Value. This is a son of my MVP, Trevor Henry for Kyle Boston. It's a $14,000 London Classic purchase. And rounding things out will be number 7, You Can Dream. This is a Walner colt trained by Blake McIntosh. Billy Davis has the driving assignment, and this one was from the Lexington sale for $30,000 US. A field of 7 in the hands of the starter. Qualifier number 8. We're on the trot as they approach the head of the stretch. Set to go, qualifier number 8. And they're off and trotting. And a good-looking beginning here. You Can Dream from the outside is being pointed towards the front. High Values matching strides between rivals. And to that one's left is going to be Wheeler Sealster. The inside starter, First Class Mass, got away in 4th. Strobe Light is 5th. 2 lengths to Hazel's Muscle. Rounding things out is Toss of the Dice. You Can Dream. It's the 3rd outing for this son of Walner, and will do the road work, at least for the time being. Has made it out to the front, and that opening quarter is going to be trotted in a time of 31-2. High Value is just off the leader, racing in 2nd. Wheeler Sealster is in 3rd, and then 4th is First Class Mass. Break of 3 lengths then as we check in with Strobe Light. 2nd from the back is Hazel's Muscle, and then the trailer for the time being is Toss of the Dice. We had a 2nd quarter breaker. Wheeler Sealster went off stride. Up front, it's You Can Dream, leading it for Billy Davis. A length and a half better of High Value. First Class Mass closes the gap in 3rd. Also doing that in 4th will be Strobe Light. The midway point was hit in a time of 1:03. So the trotters will look to ramp things up for the back half as the leader continues to be You Can Dream. You Can Dream. Oh, just like the last time out, is Cutting the Mile. In 2nd is High Value, and they're starting to step a little bit more now. First Class Mass is in 3rd. 4th is Strobe Light. 5th around the far bend is Hazel's Muscle. Then 2 Toss of the Dice, and the breaker Wheeler Sealster back trotting, looking to catch on up. 3/4 is hit in a time of 1:33 flat, and they're to the head of the lane. So that was the quickest split to this point, 30 seconds even. You Can Dream. What's left in the tank? Henry's ready to go with High Value. That one to the outside, powers on and takes the lead. So High Value strikes the front with the 8th pole. You Can Dream trying to hang in there at the rail. First Class Mass following the new leader. Outside is Strobe Light. It's High Value leading it by a length and a half. First Class Mass is inching it a bit closer down to the wire, but it will be High Value. First Class Mass was 2nd. Strobe Light was 3rd. And on the outside, Toss of the Dice got up for 4th. 2:02-2 as the winner was High Value, a son of my MVP.
And maybe aptly named High Value. Just a $14,000 yearling purchase from the London sale last fall. And in qualifier number 2, following up on a 3rd place effort a week ago, a winner today in 2:02-2. Nice final quarter kick and holds off a couple of good closers in First Class Mass and Strobe Light. I really like the way that one finished up in third. And Toss of the Dice was closing well to pick up fourth in that 2:02 and 2 clocking. From a time perspective, they'll have to go a lot quicker here in the coming weeks, but nice indication, I think, of what we can expect from some of these youngsters going postward or going forward from here. High Value, you've got to like the way this one handled in terms of good early speed, able to rate, sit in behind one, and then when asked for speed late, was right there when the button was pushed.
Yeah, and if you watch throughout the course of that mile, obviously they're not going too much up to the midway point, but after they get past the half, the leader You Can Dream starts to take it up a bit, and all of a sudden gets a couple lengths on High Value. High Value then gets right back up to the helmet, and then was ready to go at the top of the stretch when called upon, and some good strides down the lane to win this one here for Kyle Bossens and Trevor Henry. And it's High Value, a son of my MVP, as we're spreading it around a little bit. We mentioned some good representation from the various Ontario stallions in that qualifier, and it's a my MVP that does take it.
Yeah, Winback Farm bred stallion from that operation. That's another one of those that maybe doesn't get the same profile as some others, but has been able to produce top-level Grand Circuit performers. Hasty Bid immediately comes to mind, and there could be another potential Hasty Bid in the wings this year. So High Value off on the right foot. It's not really about speed, as we said. It's about how they are doing it and the body language of the horses. And on that note, I liked what I saw from that guy again, Strobe Light. Alarm Detector himself wasn't a real big horse, but he throws a bit of size, including this one.
Yep, and for the first time out, I mean, that's probably going to keep the connections pretty confident going forward. That's a good little tour for the first time for Strobe Light.
Trotters coming back in, they'll have their bath. They'll get back on the trucks and trailers and head out shortly. So it's all about the overall experience this morning for these youngsters. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and we have another group of pacers on deck next as part of the Rookie Showcase.
O'Brien Award Breeder of the Year, Tara Hills, is home to harness racing's most exciting young stallion. Green Manalishi's first crop has taken Ontario and the Grand Circuit by storm. It includes Peaceful Way winner Mona Lishi. World champion Cattle Wash has seen multiple New Jersey Sire Stake winners from his first crop, including final winning filly Reckless Abandon. His 2024 yearlings are eligible to the Ontario Sire Stakes. Don't miss your chance to buy one of their sons or daughters this fall. For more, visit TaraHills.com.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns this October to the Western Fair District Agriplex. The nation's leading consigners choose the London Classic, offering hundreds of yearlings by many of the sport's leading sires, all under one roof at one of North America's best venues. Recent sale graduates include Canada's Rookie Pacing Colt of the Year, Stonebridge Wizard, O'Brien Award finalist Paquette, and O'Brien Award winning double millionaire Logan Park. The London Classic Yearling Sale, where your dollar goes further and where champions are found. Find out more at londonclassic.ca.
Some intriguing youngsters that we're going to unveil here. Qualifier number 9. Several that we're getting our first look at include number 7, T.H. Ollie, another London Classic purchase bred by Tara Hills, son of Cattle Wash, sibling to T.H. Tyson, an exciting youngster. He's got a 150 race record. This guy will have a brother, T.H. Gregory, selling this fall in London. So T.H. Ollie, first start. Going to be some eyes on this one. Just a $26,000 yearling purchase. Jeff Byron trains. North 6, graduate of London sale as well. $80,000 for this Better's Delight in this field. And from Play the Bell, and you probably remember that name, Mark, 2017 Battle of the Bells winner. So this guy got some attention in the sales ring.
Certainly, and she was obviously on the track. That was her biggest victory. She was a good competitor in the OSS Gold ranks and took a mark of 51-1 as a 3-year-old. And North 6 is going to be her third full, just one to the races so far, and that being a Better Bell, who's just a 3-year-old this season and didn't race at 2. So still with some of those younger families, there's still lots of opportunity and potential that is available for one of these to maybe show up and really impress us.
We saw Wilma and James McKenzie here on the tarmac just a couple of races ago. Of course, they're anxious to watch their colt, Dad, in his return to action. The Poppy Rob Hanover, one of 2 or 3 that really turned heads last weekend with his 55-3 win. It was the way he did it, 27 seconds, fairly effortlessly. This guy's a sibling to some good ones. I think Pedro Hanover was a high-speed horse that made a lot of money. Pirouette Hanover, $600,000 plus. And this guy just has a presence on the racetrack. Certain ones catch your eye the minute they step on the track. I would put him in that category.
I agree 100% the way he did it last week, and Doc Moore took the lines himself last week, hands them off to Louis Watt today as we get a peek at him on the screen. A Poppy Rob Hanover, that first crop. What Poppy Rob Hanover could have been on the racetrack is something that probably gets mentioned quite often, at least when you're talking amongst racing fans, and what could have been, of course, after he got injured during the middle of his 3-year-old season. But the speed is obviously starting to show. It was on last Saturday night's Pepsi North America Cup card that the 3-year-old Open, Poppy's Pistol, a son of Poppy Rob Hanover, won that race in 1:48 flat to become his fastest son. And again, I think he was a high-speed individual himself, and it's not a surprise that that's going to probably be passed off to his progeny.
Poppy Rob kind of reminds me maybe on the trotting side of a Wallner that had that brilliant career cut short, but showed enough that people were excited when he went to the Stallion Barn. I think Valley Victory, when you go way back, would have been something similar. So you're right. Poppy Rob, a limited career, but he showed that he was one of the very best when he was on his game. And so far, what we're seeing, he's passing that along in the Stallion Barn. The depth of the pacing stallions in North America is certainly incredible right now. And we've got some good ones standing right here in Ontario as well. Really nice looking group going to the post. We've already seen a lot from some of these. What can we expect here? We're going to find out now. Here's Mark with the call of Qualifier 9.
Today's 9th qualifier features a field of 7. Number 1, Johnny Wiggles is a Huntsville colt. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair drives. This one came out of the Lexington Select sale for $30,000 US. Number 2 is Wicked Plan, a McWicked colt. For Dustin Jones, Tyler Jones drives. 3 is Hall of Fear, sports writer colt. Josh McKibben trains. The driver is Bob McClure. And Hall of Fear, the sports writer's son, was purchased at the London sale for $16,000. 4, D.A. Bodacious is a cattle wash colt trained by Dan Legacy. It'll be James McDonald to drive. And for D.A. Bodacious, this one from the London Classic for $140,000. 5 in the field. North 6, Better's Delight colt, Tony Beaton trains. James McDonald, Better's Delight colt again. This one, $80,000 at the London Classic. So on that 4, Dia Bodacious, Trevor Henry will drive. James McDonald goes with 5, North 6. 6 is Dad, Poppy Rob Hanover colt, Louis Waugh for trainer Dr. Ian Moore. Bought at Harrisburg for $70,000 US. And number 7, T.H. Ollie. First timer, this is a gelded son of cattle wash trained by Jeff Byron. Jody Jameson drives, $26,000 buy at the London Classic. Here they come, today's 9th qualifier. And they're off and pacing. Johnny Wiggles is going to scoot away from the rail. Quickly crossing over is T.H. Ollie, and T.H. Ollie just gets right into that 2-hole in front of Dad, who was able to land in front of Wicked Plan. Then on the outside there was North 6. Instead, it'll be D.A. Bodacious who gets ahead of that one, and rounding things out is Hall of Fear. They get into the first bend, and it is the Huntsville colt Johnny Wiggles who leads it. In second, T.H. Ollie was quickly able to pocket up the opening quarter time, 30-1. Meanwhile, Dad, who was a winner in the debut, is racing in third. Fourth, as they swing to the backstretch, will be Wicked Plan. Then 2 lengths off that one is D.A. Bodacious in fifth. 6 will be North 6, and racing in seventh is Hall of Fear. Up front here, Johnny Wiggles is a loose leader by 2 1/4. In second is T.H. Ollie. Tracking along is Dad. So Dad did the road work in the qualifying debut, a winner in 155-3. But for the time being here today with Louis Waugh, will ride there third as they were by the half in 1 minute and 3/5, just 30-2 in the second quarter. And Johnny Wiggles continues to show the way, points them into the far turn. In second is T.H. Ollie, waiting on Dad there third, and this one is underway now for Waugh. Inside fourth was Wicked Plan. D.A. Bodacious has moved to the outside, and then we're going to go to north sixth, and the last one, Hall of Fear, is well back. Here's Dad up to attack Johnny Wiggles. They're almost side by side at 3/4 in 1:28.4, 28.1 third quarter speed, and they'll continue to sprint as they swing for home. So Johnny Wiggles brought them this far. Dad on the outside takes a short lead. Johnny Wiggles trying to hang on in there, but it is Dad just powering away now into the final eighth of the mile. Johnny Wiggles in second. T.H. Ollie is third. D.A. Bodacious, and then back to Wicked Plan. It is Dad. A great follow-up after that win last week. Dad goes back-to-back, wins this one by nearly 5. Johnny Wiggles was second. Third was T.H. Ollie. Wicked Plan was fourth. 1:55.2 for Dad.
Wowzer. That's a big last quarter again, Mark. Pretty incredible. 26 and change on the end of it here. Back half 54-4. And had to make the move first up on the final turn. So Dad with a kind of a statement effort here. And it looks like Louis got a little bit left here late, letting him rattle over that final quarter. Kind of does it on his own. Take nothing away from Johnny Wiggles. Real nice effort for this one. In his second start, stepped up. A little more aggressive. Was involved in that nice tussle in the third quarter, but they're going some big league speed over the final half there. And T.H. Ollie left alertly, and a good following third place effort there in his first start. And big difference in just in a week, right? The ones that have that benefit of one trip behind the gate and going that kind of speed a week ago to try and match them in your first start today would be a tall order.
What I really like there about Dad in that qualifier is how Louis is able just to get away in third, and he just sits in that spot, no problem, right? I mean, after he went out to the lead last week and led by open lengths in the early stages, and it was a 5.5 length score, didn't really have anyone near him. You just wonder, could he maybe be a little hot? But not the case at all. He just, sat there nicely and confidently, and before he got the cue to go, and then comes after the leader very quickly with that rush at the 3/4 pole, and then just steps away. And you mentioned it, I think there was still a little bit left there. So a good performance, a great follow-up. Final time is probably not nearly as important as how he did it, and instead kind of looking at those splits on the end of it and that back half speed.
There's Johnny Wiggles after his runner-up finish this morning. And look at D.A. Bodacious coming off the track. Finished fifth, I think, just beat for fourth today, but kept it together. That was probably priority number one after he had a miscue late in the mile last week, kind of bottled up in traffic. Wicked Plan, I thought he was good in finishing fourth, and he was a first-timer, this McWicked colt. I'm sure the connection's quite happy with him. There's the statuesque Dad, Poppy Rob Hanover, coming off the track here. This is very early to say. I mean, we're just talking strictly on talent. He looks like he's something a little bit special here right now. First-timer T.H. Ollie, I think a nice effort too, and especially the way he just snapped off the gate and then immediately settled in and finished up pretty good in that quick mile.
And I watched him warming up when we were in our first break today for Jeff Byron, and he had a presence on the track, this guy, and the way he got off the wings, like you said, and just quickly swung down to the rail there to get into that two-hole, and not even any doubt that he could just step right into that spot. And Jody Jamieson, he drives horses with lots of confidence, right? And I think it maybe almost passes on to them the way he gets them out of there.
So we have 9 races completed. We're getting ready for just our second intermission here. We are trackside. A lot of people behind us. We're seeing people walk by with those pancakes. They look awfully good. We haven't tried them yet. Might be time. And yeah, we've got some of the connections here that are all smiles. We see some of them, and yeah, I see Wilma and James. They were over there. They were excited to see their horse go, and I can't imagine they wouldn't be ecstatic to see what Dad has done so far. Maybe we'll try and catch up with them later, find out what's on his plate coming up here in the coming weeks. But a lot of fun so far, Mark. Let's take a quick break. Stick with us, and we'll be back with the final 4 coming up when we return in about 10 minutes from now. Yep. Okay, we're up. Welcome back as we get into the stretch drive of today's coverage of the Rookie Showcase on PrimeTime Racing. Got 3, 4, 5 left to go here this morning. It's Colt and Gelding Pacers and Trotters going postward. Great to see such a nice crowd on track. We've got the complimentary breakfast happening. Mark and I just got to try that, and it was excellent, I have to say. And thanks to Woodbine Entertainment for putting that on. Got some Hall of Famers in the crowd here today. Billy O, the Magic Man's here. Ran into Benoit Cote, legendary Quebec driver and Hall of Famer, and 93. And yeah, he looks fantastic, and it's great to see him. Future Hall of Famer Curtis McDonald, he's back in town today, straight from the Bahamas to be producing things behind the scenes today. So kind of a who's who, and a who's who on the racetrack so far too.
He must not have ate much in the Bahamas because I saw him go up twice for some pancakes. So,
oh boy, outed on TV here this morning.
And I know he's not actually paying attention right now. I can hear him in my ear, so I'm not going to have to hear about that one. But Curtis, the whole crew, I see our man Quentin. He's got the low, tight follow camera going. And I think we're on. No, we're not on his shot right now, but Quentin is he's a jack of all trades as well. So
yeah,
I'd like to give him a shout. I like to call him Nesquik.
They do a great job behind the scenes. And, of course, Cam with the shots from the paddock and shots of them coming off the track. That's the favorite part of the coverage for me, Mark, getting to see the individuals up close. And then, of course, watching them in action against each other as well. Carl Jamieson, just saw him here a few moments ago, and he and Jody team up here with Land the Plane as we're on the trot for qualifier number 10, scheduled to be a field of 7. This one is on a tactical landing. He made just a small mistake at the start last week. He was charted with a break, but nice recovery, finishing 4th, and clocked his own final quarter in 28-3 on that occasion. A veteran like Carl is going to have taken the week and whatever he thinks caused the break. If there was one thing that they could pinpoint, they'll try and rectify that and make sure it's smoother sailing today.
And I just look across the board in this field, and for all those that have qualified before and scheduled to be a field of 7, just one debuter, all of them really, came home pretty well. Obviously, one stands out in DA Mastermind with a 27-2 final quarter. And there is a look at DA Mastermind. But the others, everybody kind of finished up pretty nicely. And I think across the board, this kind of sets the stage for what should be a big step forward for most of these, trying to at least improve off of what was at least enough of a nice debut. You talk about a horse making a break, but rebounding and finishing up with some trots. So this should be a good one here.
Kyle Bossens, Trevor Henry, they've already teamed up for a winner earlier today, so they'll look for their second with DA Mastermind, one of the 6-figure babies that we are going to unveil here this morning. And one of a couple from the Dean and Ashley Wilson operation competing this morning, and he was a winner last time. Post number 1, that'll be another test. Post 1 for young trotters here. Yeah, that's a learning experience in itself, so we'll see how he negotiates that, along with the other starters as they line up for qualifier number 10. It looks like all 7 trotters are on gate. Here's Mark with the call.
All right, they're lining up for this 10th qualifier as we resume with today's action. As you get a good look at him there, courtesy of cameraman Chris, doing a great job up top. Number 1, DA Mastermind, a muscle mass colt. Trevor Henry for Kyle Bossens. And as just mentioned, $120,000 London Classic yearling sale purchase. 2 Green Energy and a Green Manalishi colt. Blake McIntosh trains. Doug McNair will drive. This one came out of the Lexington Select Sale for $42,000 US. 3 is Yacht Club, a Trixton colt. Bob McClure for Gerard Demers. A $10,000 purchase at the London Classic. 4, Lifting Legend is a Geldson on muscle mass. James McDonald for Dominic Ladew. Lifting Legend from the Lexington sale for $17,000 US. 5 is Land the Plane. Jody Jamieson for Carl Jamieson. This is a tactical landing colt. Purchased at Lexington for $62,000 US. 6 is Sendika. Green Manalishi gelding. Ben Bayerjan trains. Tyler Borth drives. And 7 is Green Lollipop, a Green Manalishi colt trained by Desiree Jones. Gino Toscani in the bike. Bought at Harrisburg for $10,000 US. Today's 10th qualifier is set to go, a field of 7, as the trotters are ready. Off stride, number 7, Green Lollipop. The others are off and trotting, and as Green Energy was trying to leave, he rolls off stride. So an early break for Green Energy, who moves to the outside. The others now trying to get situated. Sendika is going to step around, land the plane. Then it's going to be DA Mastermind to Lifting Legend, followed by Yacht Club. Then we're going back to Green Lollipop, and then as you can see, just to the outside there, center of the track, off stride, Green Energy still on the gallop. Heading to the opening quarter, Sendika is the leader, while in second is Land the Plane. They are by the opening quarter in a time of 31-1. It's Sendika, a gelded son of Green Manalishi, a length and a half better right now than Land the Plane. And Land the Plane's going to loop here and come up to the lead. So out of the 2-hole and trying to come around, it's Tactical Landing Colt Land the Plane and gets to the top, but it might be a short-lived lead as Henry's already got DA Mastermind on the go. So DA Mastermind wasn't going to wait longer in third and continues to now march on up to get to the lead as they come up to the midway point. So DA Mastermind overtakes the top at a 101.5. Now on to the far turn. Land the Plane, relegated into second. Sendika was the early leader, all of a sudden is back in third. Meanwhile, Lifting Legend hasn't changed positions, has just been watching the action from in fourth. We go back to Yacht Club, who is fifth. Green Lollipop, sixth. And then it's well back to Green Energy. Halfway around the far turn, DA Mastermind, the $120,000 yearling, the son of Muscle Mass, is leading it. In second is Land the Plane. Right behind that one, Sendika is poised for a stretch bid third. And in fourth is Lifting Legend. 3/4 was 131-1. And they're into the stretch. DA Mastermind, the leader. Second is Land the Plane. Up the inside goes Sendika. Lifting Legend in fourth. Off stride here in the lane is Land the Plane. And it's going to be all DA Mastermind as we march into the final 16th. DA Mastermind goes back-to-back, another qualifying score. Finishing second was Sendika, then third will be Lifting Legend, and fourth was Yacht Club. The time of the mile, 2 minutes and a fifth.
DA Mastermind passing the second test with flying colors here today, 2 minutes and a fifth. So lowering his time from a week ago by basically 3 seconds here. Kicks home in 29 seconds. And a bit of a different approach. Sat in most of the way and just swept by rivals very late. A week ago today makes that halfway point move to the lead, showing a different tact. And responded well in the home stretch with that 29-second final quarter speed. Solid runner-up effort here from Sendika, who also improved in the time department. That one is a gelded son of Green Manalishi. But DA Mastermind, $120,000 yearling purchase, and from a family that would suggest that he would do something like this in the first couple of qualifiers. Sibling to 5 winners of $200,000 or more. So many top competitors from the family, including Mastercraft, a horse that's just continuing to improve and add to the bank account here locally. A 53-3 mark for that one. Well over $250,000 in earnings and counting. DA Mastermind following in the family footsteps so far.
And the muscle mass, what do you want to call it? Not domination necessarily, but just continued success across Ontario. You're just not surprised that they keep coming out. You know, look at the group last year that we were watching of rookies, and you know, from his crop a season ago, he's already got 4 with over 6 figures, including You Got It Kemp, who's nearly $400,000 earner. Look at Me Go Amigos, one that's picked up a couple wins this season for Luke Blais. And as we look to this year, the 2-year-olds for Muscle Mass, this is a good-looking one that was certainly pegged when you're going to the yearling sale here in London and you're paying $120,000. You got some high hopes, and so far so good.
I remember the day, Mark, when Balanced Image dominated the trotting ranks in Ontario. He was in a league of his own among trotting stallions in Canada. Then Cadabra kind of took over when the torch got passed eventually for a number of years. And I'd say Muscle Mass has been, you'd have to say he's been the top dog in the last number of years. But, you know, so much depth now in terms of trotting stallions in the province, and, you know, those that want to challenge that supremacy. But, yeah, his offspring, you're still going to be hearing from them all summer long.
You certainly will. And as much as a Green Manalishi came into the mix last year just to kind of shake things up, that's what you want to see from a racing fan standpoint. You'll love it. But, you know, there's no doubt Muscle Mass is not going anywhere, slowing down anytime soon.
And there's another muscle mass offspring lifting legend who finishes third. He was a winner a week ago, 2:04.2. Third today in a much quicker time of 2 minutes and a fifth. That one owned by the stable lifting legend of Brunswick, Ohio. And Dominic Ladew does the training of that one.
Saw a couple of the partners on that one here today as they were excited to see what the follow-up was going to be. And you mentioned it. They're going a little quicker today, and this one was right there in the mix.
Starting to sort things out with these rookies as we're on our final day of our live coverage, weekend number 3 of the baby races. We have 4 remaining, a group of pacers when we come back.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns this October to the Western Fair District Agriplex. The nation's leading consigners choose the London Classic, offering hundreds of yearlings by many of the sport's leading sires, all under one roof at one of North America's best venues. Recent sale graduates include Canada's Rookie Pacing Colt of the Year, Stonebridge Wizard, O'Brien Award finalist Paquette, and O'Brien Award-winning double millionaire Logan Park. The London Classic Yearling Sale, where your dollar goes further and where champions are found. Find out more at londonclassic.ca.
I'm awfully glad I won.
The Hamiltonian, it's one of the most prestigious races.
It's quite a thrill. It's one of the biggest thrills of my life.
We delivered. The horse delivered. It was amazing. I can't believe it.
I am stunned. I'm absolutely stunned.
This is obviously the pinnacle.
Just something that I can't explain.
This is just an absolute dream come true.
It feels good now, but I'm sure it's going to feel even better tomorrow.
For me to do it, this is my moment.
I might have got a little excited.
Making their way out from the paddock, the Pacers for qualifier number 11. As we're into our final 4 of this Saturday morning. 8 of them to line up behind the gate here. 7 of the 8 are returning, including Bojangles, your post 2 starter. He was the fastest, individually timed fastest colt in the field from last week. Bojangles paced in 54.3. They fired home in 26 seconds, and it was the kind of rally that caught your attention for sure. It was only good enough for third, though, on that occasion. You'd have to think if you can duplicate that or a little bit better today, probably going to be the colt that you'll be watching coming to the wire here. But many other nice efforts from a week ago. It's just a question of how much more are they ready to be extended today in the time department. Several Sons of Cattle Wash again in the field here. We've got a Captain Crunch named Captain's Legacy, your post 7 starter, and a pair of Bettor's Delight colts, Plankton Hanover and Trust Me Hanover 4 and 5. Only first timer though, Car Wash Blues for Meg Crone, and we've seen a few from Meg over the last couple of weeks, and she's got a nice group this season.
Yep, and a variety of prominent owners as well, and they're sending out a cattle wash first timer, and you've watched all these other cattle washes go. You're probably thinking, okay, we maybe got something here as well, on top of what you already know, training that horse down and hopefully getting it to this point, and without any knowledge. I just think right now we got to put respect on those cattle washes.
Here they are coming out to the track. We're keeping one eye on the horses coming out of the paddock. Again, we want to make sure we're not getting caught off guard here by any late scratches in the field. There's a gray in the group, Silver Dunes. He's an Art Speak colt from a Duneside Perch mare. And this one, bred by Windback, has New York ownership. Karen and Joel Flanders of Argyle, New York, share in the ownership, so perhaps tuning in today. And Kyle Fellows trains this one. We were talking about Kyle earlier, had a son of Archangel that was a good 4th, looked good. Speaking of their Archangel horses in the stable, we've got a big name getting ready to return to the track here locally.
Yeah, Monday morning, the entries coming out for the qualifiers, and looks like we'll see the return of Logan Park as he'll make his first appearance back here at Mohawk following his trip over to Sweden, so he's entered to qualify, and as we all know, a trip like that can certainly take a lot out of a horse, so I'm sure just a case of finding out and the horse letting you know when he's ready to get back to it, and good to see he'll be back in on Monday morning.
Yeah, that's exciting. His old arch rival, Fashion Frenzy, he's signaling that he's back and ready to go. Gaines Hanover has been so good this year, and many others. Deep division in the older trotting ranks, and good to have Logan Park, the local kingpin, back and getting set to return to action here. But we focus on Pacers next. A field of 8 in this qualifier. They're on the starting gate. There's a look at 4 Plankton Hanover. He's got some time to try and reset here as the rest of them are moving up nicely to the starting gate. Here's Mark with the description.
Horses lining up for qualifier number 11. Jangles is driven by Louis Waugh for Dr. Rian Moore. Out of the Harrisburg sale for $65 US. 3 Silver Dunes, Art Speak Colt. Kyle Fellows trains. Make the driver Jody Jameson. 4 Plankton Hanover. Better's Delight Colt. Tony Beaton trains. James McDonald drives. Harrisburg buy for $50,000. 5 Trust Me Hanover. Doug McNair for Beaton. Another Better's Delight. This one came out of Harrisburg for $22 US. 6 6 is out. 7 is Captain's Legacy. Travis Henry for Francis Dumichel. Gelded son of Captain Crunch. Bought at Harrisburg for $6,000 US. And PL Taco's the outside starter. A cattle wash colt. Bob McClure for Katie Huskinson. And the Rotham Pacing qualifier number 11 gets underway, and it's going to be Bo Jangles who is powering forward. Meanwhile, Silver Dunes gets away in second. Here from the outside is PL Taco, who's up into third. Captain's Legacy quickly got over to the rail in fourth in front of Plankton Hanover and Trust Me Hanover as they drive to the first turn. They get into single file now. It's Bo Jangles the leader. Silver Dunes as they will make their way past the opening marker in 28-3. So a pretty good opening quarter there for Bo Jangles. And this one really wants to go today. Bo Jangles into the backstretch, up top by 3. Second is Silver Dunes. Then in third is PL Taco. 2 lengths back to Captain's Legacy in fourth. The beaten trainees Plankton Hanover and Trust Me Hanover are at the back of the pack as they're moving up the backstretch here at Mohawk. And the leader, Bo Jangles. This cattle wash colt sat off the pace in his debut qualifier before kicking home in 26 flat. Today, gonna do it himself up front. Cuts the mile, leads by 3. Midway point hit in 59-1. So Waugh had him rated in 30-3 in the second quarter. After that 28-3 opener, backs it down, takes it up now, and he stretches out the lead to 6 lengths. Silver Dunes trying to respond at the inside as PL Taco has been able to go around that one into second. 5 more lengths going back to Captain's Legacy. Plankton Hanover is second from the back, and the last one is Trust Me Hanover. So off that 59-1/2, taking off was Bo Jangles in the third quarter. 126-2, 27-1 in the third. Split, and at the head of the lane, Bo Jangles trying to put on a show here, leads it by close to 15 lengths. PL Taco is in second. Silver Dunes has fanned to the outside. Captain's Legacy, then to Plankton Hanover and Trust Me Hanover. But Bo Jangles is coming into deep stretch, and he was eye-catching finishing up last week. Here, all eyes on him. He's going to win in a time of 1:53 flat. Big effort by Bo Jangles. Finishing in second was PL Taco. Second was Plankton Hanover. Fourth was Captain's Legacy. It was all Bo Jangles in qualifier number 11.
And we now have a new fastest 2-year-old in Canada this season. His name is Bo Jangles, son of Cattle Wash. I just don't think it's possible to look any more impressive than he did in there. He made it look effortless here. Nice look at the slow-mo here for Louis-Philippe Waugh, Dr. Ian Moore. Ian Moore's got some real Bearcats in the barn this season as far as the 2-year-old colts are concerned. The rest of them kind of in a race of their own, and that was PL Taco getting it done there. Connections, I'm sure, were happy with that result in getting up in a solid second-place finisher, and Plankton Hanover rounding out the top 3. But another wow effort from Bo Jangles. We've been saying that a lot, Mark. I feel like we're on repeat, but I think it's justified here.
27-1 in the third, 26-3 home, 53-4 back half here. As this guy just, again, takes off there in that back half. And I mean, we were impressed last week the way that he finished up, maybe a little overshadowed by the speed of those that won that qualifier. Well, he goes even faster than they did last week. And again, Dr. Ian Moore, talk about having a plethora of talent. Did 2-year-olds heading into probably the Tompkins Gears next week. I mean, here's a cattle wash that has kind of put the rest of those Ontario side horses on notice with that effort today.
Of all of the colts that didn't win last time out, he was the one that I think was the one that you thought, wow, that's impressive, even though he didn't win, from where he came from and how fast he was on the end of the mile. So today, put on the front early and just open road all the way in that 153 mile. Interesting ownership group here. I'm not familiar with the ownership group, to be honest, Mark. Graham Grace Stables of Virginia, Jonathan Roberts of Maryland, and the Bolton Stables of Florida, and teamed up here with Ian Moore. So that's a new owner-trainer combination, and they have to be pretty pumped for what could lie ahead for Bojangles. So we've been saying it a lot. There's so many colts that I've watched race here in these last couple of weeks that, if you were the owners, you'd be so excited, but then you're seeing other ones a race or two later that are arguably as impressive.
Yeah, the co-owner there, Jonathan Roberts, a name that East Coast of the United States racing fans would be really familiar with, racing in Delaware, Maryland. You've seen him at the Meadowlands time to time, driven some nice horses. I mean, he's almost won 5,000 races in his career, and one of those that you can see over the last few years, his amount of starts is starting to drop. But on the ownership side of things here, he's got to be pretty excited. Not sure the full connection with that group to Doc Moore, but if you're maybe just looking for someone to take on an Ontario sired horse, it makes sense you'd go to someone like Doc Moore with his continued success year in and year out.
So it looks like a son of Some Beach Somewhere is going to make his mark in the breeding shed. We're talking about Cattle Wash. We've been mentioning how it looks like he's stamping his horse, and in a good way. They're big, athletic horses. They're flawlessly gaited. The good ones are the better ones we've seen. That's one thing that jumps out at you, and they don't wear a lot of equipment either, and it's probably to do with the fact that they're just so professional and so good gated.
I think there's everything you just mentioned right there. It's just nothing but checking boxes, right? And they can't all win, I guess, when they get against each other, these cattle washes. But if you were, if there was a prop bet on Stallions, he would be probably be a heavy favorite going in to our first Sire Stakes events of the year.
And he really dominated in New Jersey, where to be frank, there are only really a couple of stallions that were down there or prominent. So he was dominating there, and people wondered, how is that going to translate here? And hey, let's temper it a little bit. These are qualifying races, but so far it looks like he's going to fit in very nicely here in Ontario, no question. And again, we've been excited to watch Bulldog Hanover. Liked what we've seen from his offspring so far, and then the already established stallions, of course, here in what is going to be a really deep provincial program this season.
Just think about next year now. I don't want to, you're right, you don't want to get ahead of yourselves, but you start to think of what Bulldog could bring to the table next year with what I think will be a good season this year as well. But Ontario Sire Stakes program.
I was going to say another son of Some Beach Somewhere coming down the pipeline in beach class.
That's right. I mean, the Ontario Sire Stakes program has been a leader when you look at Sire Stakes programs across North America. And if anything, it's just getting deeper as we head into 2025, 2026.
Let's get focused on trotters here next. And we'll stay with you as you're watching baby race coverage from Woodbine Mohawk Park on the heels of Canada's fastest 2-year-old mile this year in race number 11. Trotters here, field of 7 scheduled. Going to, again, have a look and make sure we're not missing anybody if we can. And we've got 3 London Sale graduates competing in here, Milan du Hurrah, Totally Iconic, and Southern Cowboy, who are all making their first appearance behind the gate. Another first-timer next door to them is Switch. And then Commander Saul is the other one, a Captain Corey. Now, there's another newer stallion that been hearing nothing but good about, and the ones we've seen have been impressive. That's Captain Corey.
Yeah, and they really caught your eye if you were at the sales last fall, especially in Lexington. There was a lot of buzz around them, and for him, there's a horse that has a big opportunity. I think he's just kind of some fresh blood there, especially where he stands as a trotting stallion. And I mean, I'm looking ahead to this year, and he's already got a couple of winners in pari-mutuel events already. So I think he'll be one that we'll certainly hear a lot from this year.
And I forgot about him. He's also a London Sale graduate, this son of Captain Corey. Christiana Hanover, the mare, she was a good one, a winner of $326,000 in her career, and has produced a $400,000 winner in ESSA. Commander Saul will be post number 6 here, as we try and get a look at them. Out on track, just moments away from the start of qualifier number 12 in here. Ones that have faced the gate a week ago include Classified, another son of Captain Corey, made a miscue. Hard to get a read on that one for team backs. Felix Hanover, same case scenario, the number 7. The Green Shoe Gelding broke at the start last time. Didn't get to really showcase much in that one. Was charted in 2:04 and 3. Did recover, get back on the trot, but was so far back. Hard to get a read on it, but it looks like we've got all 7 out there and almost ready to go in here. And another range of stallions in here and yearling purchase prices.
There is, and I always look across the pages at some of these horses and wonder about, when you look at the mares, how many foals have they had? We talked about some that are on their 10th and 12th earlier this year. Well, then there's one in this race like Totally Iconic, who is out of Ionia, who was a $200,000 winner, and this is her first foal, so has some promise.
And the number 5 of the field, Switch. Now, am I seeing that right? I'm just noticing this now. Is this a cattle wash out of a Big Jim mare?
I'm going to trust that the program pages are correct.
All right. Well, this is interesting. Terry Gallant trains, Trevor Henry doing the driving, and here they go. Field of 7 trotters, race number 12.
Number 1, Milan du Hurrah, is a Green Manalishi gelding. Jean Tournay trains. The driver is Louis Waugh, $20,000 yearling purchase from the London Classic. 2, Totally Iconic, is a muscle mass gelding. Totally Iconic is trained by Marcel Berriot. Austin Sorey will drive. This was a $35,000 London Classic buy. 3 in this field is going to be Classified. Matt Bax trains and drives this son of Captain Corey. Number 4, Southern Cowboy, James McDonald for Gerard Demers. Archangel Colt out of London Classic for $15,000. 5 is Switch. Yes, a cattle wash colt out of a Big Jim mare, and this one a homebred for his connections. Terry Gallant trains, Trevor Henry drives. 6 is Commander Saul, Captain Corey Colt. Travis Henry for Francis Dumichel, $27,000 at the London Classic. And then number 7, Felix Hanover, gelded son of Green Shoe. Tyler Borth for Ben Bayerjon. This one came from Harrisburg for $35,000. Field of 7 lining up. And they're off and trotting in qualifier number 12. Going to be a good beginning here through the middle for Classified, along with Switch and Felix Hanover. So 3, 5, 7 getting away 1, 2, 3, while Milan du Hurrah, the rail starter, is going to be 4th in the opening 8th of the mile in front of Totally Iconic, then to Southern Cowboy, and the last one will be Commander Saul. As they're into the first turn, it is Switch, the leader. So Switch is out in front by a few lengths on Felix Hanover second. Opening quarter time was 31-1. It's Switch, the son of Cattle Wash, trotting them into the backstretch by 2. Second, Felix Hanover. In third is Classified. 4th, as they straighten into the backstretch, Milan du Hurrah, who's in front of Totally Iconic. Then to Southern Cowboy, and the last one is going to be Commander Saul. Making a move here was Classified in the second quarter, and while getting around one rival, doesn't drop in second. Nope. Eyes are pointed on the lead. Classified going out to the top here now. And Classified, the Captain Corey, is strided out to the lead. The midway point hit in 102 flat. So Matt Bax has put his trainee Classified on the front with a little less than a half mile remaining. In second is Switch. Third continues to be Felix Hanover. 4th is Milan du Hurrah. Totally Iconic in the debut. Just been following that one. Also right in there as they're making their way around the far turn, Southern Cowboy. And then we had a breaker at the back, or at least dropping out of it at the back, Commander Saul. going to 3/4. And how about Classified? Got away by 4. Classified at 3/4 in 1:30-4, 28-4, and they're into the stretch. It is Classified. Second outing. This one's looking pretty good. Back in second is Switch. On the outside, third is Felix Hanover. Totally Iconic is now moved into fourth from Milan Du Hurrah fifth, as there's less than an eighth of a mile to go, and Classified still has this one in control. Classified is going to win it. Finishing in second, we'll see if Switch can fend off Felix Hanover. Switch will hold second. Felix Hanover third. Fourth was Totally Iconic. The final time, 2 minutes and a fifth as it goes to Classified in the 12th.
Classified, no mistakes today after the miscue at the beginning a week ago. Keeps it all together this morning. Very professional looking effort. Making the move to the lead in that slowing second quarter off a 102 half. Then kicks out in 28-4 in the third. Keeps on cruising late, 29-2 to polish off 2 minutes and 1/5 effort. 58-1 overall back half speed for this guy. Did it fairly easily. The pacing bred son of Cattle Wash, Switch, was a good second in his first outing, holding off the green shoe gelding Felix Hanover. So I have to admit, Mark, I didn't catch that one until right when the gate was going with Switch, and lo and behold, pretty good effort from that one.
Got out of there pretty quickly, didn't he? And had some good speed to at least get out to the front. Hands off the lead there at the midway point when Classified made that move, but catches your eye on the page, and then out there, well, I guess you had a little extra intrigue in watching how he'd go, and goes pretty nicely, doesn't he?
Yeah, for sure. I wonder when that point comes, that decision or that point where you realize, you know what, that he just wants to trot, and he's pretty good at it. So we're just gonna focus on that and keep going on the trot.
Hey, we'll see what happens. I don't imagine they're gonna be flipping back and forth. So he's a trotter now, and he got qualified here today.
Yeah, looked pretty good there, I thought, in the runner-up effort, and certainly nice rebound efforts for Classified, who finished first, and third place finisher Felix Hanover, who was lapped on and closing well and just missed the runner-up spot in that field of 7. So we have 12 in the books here this morning, and 2 more left to go on this Saturday. We've got some nice-looking youngsters still to come. Very good-looking group of Colt Pacers coming up next. Race number 13 when we return on the Rookie Showcase.
Harness Racing Update covers the sport from all the angles, with news, opinion, features, photography, and the most comprehensive racing, breeding, and sales stories in the game from around the globe. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. Plus, HRU's popular Twos in Training series on YouTube gives you the first look at the stars of tomorrow. And the best news, it's all free. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com.
All sports dynasties share one thing.
Home run! Another world championship!
They dominate. Hanover Shoe Farms, the most successful breeder of Hambletonian champions, producing an impressive total of 11 winners, has dominated the race. Purchase Hanover yearlings at Harrisburg. Hanover Shoe Farms, a standard bred dynasty.
It doesn't get any better than that! Wow!
Welcome back. Coming to you from downtown Campbellville here this morning. The Rookie Showcase, and Greg Blanchard along with the jack of all trades here at Mohawk Park, Mark McKelvey, just picking up some signs that blew over a minute ago. He's calling the races here this morning, helping me on the desk. He's got a network thoroughbred show later today, telling me you used to cut grass here at one time too.
I did, yes.
What haven't you done?
It's a good question.
You ever work in the kitchen here?
No, I didn't do that. That's probably for the best. We won't want the folks coming here to get sick.
He's come a long way, that is for sure. One of the best
yep.
in the business, and great to be with Mark this morning, and it's a lot of fun, I know, for both of us to be here today.
Sorry, I bailed on you there for almost 2 weeks there. Kind of left you on the desk. I mean, it was a rotation of guest hosts.
We had some really good guys that jumped in and pinch hit. Jeff Hunt, local horseman that jumped in a couple of times. Fantastic. And and even we had Tyler Jones on yesterday, joined us for a couple of races there. And so it's good for guys like that, right? They're in the business there. Obviously, they want to be busy on mornings like this, but when the opportunity arises to have them jump in with us on the desk is always a treat. And speaking of treats, this is one of the races that I sort of had circled as one that I was really anxious to see today. We're going to see a Scorpion Sealster return. He had a miscue last time. This was a highly regarded son of Bulldog Hanover, the sibling to Stockade and source to Sealster from that family. And then a first-timer for Jack Darling, another son of Bulldog Hanover that's going to get some attention.
Barracuda Hanover will be the 4. He's got Tyler Borth listed to drive. This one came out of Harrisburg for $115,000, and it's the connections of Bulldog. Brad Grant co-owns along with Jack Darling, and understandably so that they are going to want to support, but as well, not just supporting, going after one of the horses that was certainly one of the more well-regarded or highly regarded Bulldogs that was going through a sales ring last year out of a Better's Delight mare who's produced 4 winners, including 2 of them with over 400,000 made in Diamond Beach and Big Better Hanover. And this is the family of Badlands Nitro. So it's a pretty deep family here, and we get to see the debut of this Bulldog.
Ian Moore's got another one we're going to get a look at. This one did face the gate a week ago. His name is Alcatraz Blue Chip of course, Doc Moore. Campaign the Sire Shadow Play. Frame Worthy's been a good producer. Produced Andra Day, a stakes type that Doc had in the barn as well. Cheesy Smile from that family, $500,000 winner. And a solid runner-up finisher last week. Showed good time overall. He was charted in 57, one of the quicker of the day individually. So I would expect, first of all, let me make sure he's out there. That's my main thing now. And I do see him, and it looks like Jody's got him out in post number 8. So I think all the ones that are scheduled to go are on gate. So this should be fun to watch.
Certainly will. And there's another first-timer, the 7. Lions Wyatt Earp is lining up as well. So field of 8. They're going to line up behind the starting gate, qualifier number 13. Here's the field for qualifier 13. 1 is all the right places. Cattle Wash Gelding. Kyle Fellows trains. The driver is going to be Damian McClellan. $50,000 purchase out of Lexington. 2, Harbor Fury. Cattle Wash Colt. Dan Legacy, the trainer. And it's going to be Brady Legacy driving. Harbor Fury was a $30,000 Harrisburg buy. 3, Hurricane Express, Better's Delight Gelding. Nick Galucci trains. James McDonald drives. 4, Barracuda Hanover is a Bulldog Hanover colt trained by Jack Darling. Tyler Borth will steer. $115,000 U.S. purchase out of Harrisburg. 5, Gobi Hanover, Captain Treacherous colt. Gino Toscani for Desiree Jones. This one came out of Harrisburg for $27 U.S. 6 is Scorpion Sealster, Bulldog Hanover colt. It's going to be Doug McNair for trainer Dave Maneri. Scorpion Sealster, $95,000 U.S. at Lexington. 7 is Lions Wyatt Earp, a Better Than Cheddar colt. Tony Beaton trains. Jonathan Drury drives. $27,000 from the London Classic. And 8 is Alcatraz Blue Chip, a Shadow Play colt. Dr. Ian Moore trains. Jody Jamieson will drive this one out of Harrisburg for $65,000 U.S. Here they come for the 13th. And they're off and pacing. And from the outside, we're going to give the first call here. As trying to leave out of there was Alcatraz Blue Chip, but there was speed from the center in Gobi Hanover. Inside, Harbor Fury is getting away in 3rd. It'll be Scorpion Sealster 4th. 5th will be Barracuda Hanover in the early going in front of all the right places. Then to Hurricane Express, and Lions Wyatt Earp is going to round things out. Into the first turn. And the leader for Jody Jamison's Alcatraz Blue Chip. That opening quarter cut out in 29 seconds flat. Racing in 2nd is Gobi Hanover. Right behind that one 3rd. That's going to be Harbor Fury. Then we're going back to Scorpion Sealster, who's about 2.5 off the nearest rival in fourth. Another couple of lengths to Barracuda Hanover in the debut. That one races up the backstretch. And then we're going to check in with all the right places. Who's in front of Hurricane Express, and at the back of the pack, Lions Wide Earp. As they're coming up to the half here, this field of 8, they're all following Alcatraz Blue Chip, the son of Shadow Play. It was by the half in 59 and 2. Gobi Hanover is in second. Third into the far turn. That is Harbor Fury. Fourth, it continues to be Scorpion Sealster. 2 more lengths back to Barracuda Hanover in 5th. 6 is Lions Wide Earp. Then going back to Hurricane Express, all the right places. They're midway around the far turn. Alcatraz Blue Chip by 1.5 lengths on Gobi Hanover. That's how they've been throughout as they're coming to the third station. Maybe starting to angle a bit. It'll be Gobi Hanover for that stretch sprint. 3/4 time, 1:29 and 2, 30 seconds even. Alcatraz Blue Chip. And Alcatraz Blue Chip gets away on that nearest rival. Opens up a 3-length lead. Gobi Hanover is trying to hang on there in second. Harbor Fury to the outside third. Scorpion Sealster in fourth. Back to Barracuda Hanover in fifth. As we move into the final 16th, Alcatraz Blue Chip is home. Alcatraz Blue Chip. Harbor Fury gets up into second. Scorpion Sealster good on the end of it third, and fourth was Gobi Hanover. 1:57 and 2 for Alcatraz Blue Chip.
Alcatraz Blue Chip, runner-up a week ago, gets it done today, 57 and 2. So not quite as fast as he was last time, but this was a very different approach today, put on the front, and will kick home with that 58-second back half. Flashy-looking son of Shadow Play, another winner on the pacing side for Dr. Ian Moore. Jody Jameson engineers the win here this morning. Harbor Fury, a first start for this son of Cattle Wash, who finished up stoutly in that runner-up spot as well. And Scorpion Sealster, I think a nice bounce back for him. Doug handled him, I thought, a little bit carefully. He just wanted to make sure early on, and then raced him from off the pace, and he was closing up, lapped on the runner-up there at the wire, who was also finishing strongly. So nice efforts from the top 3 finishers here. Alcatraz Blue Chip giving sire Shadow Play a winning credit this morning. And again, that familiarity for Dr. Ian Moore would have known the family, knows the family quite well, and that probably went into the decision-making, but a good-looking individual too.
Yeah, for sure, and got out of there pretty quickly as well, just to get out to the front. And Jody Jameson, talk about him. He just gets these horses out of there and can let them roll. And Alcatraz Blue Chip kind of well rated throughout, and then seals it off with a 28-second kicker to get the job done. I mean, a Shadow Play that went through Harrisburg for $65,000 US, and got some prominent owners on this one. As Doc Moore, the beat goes on.
We remember Shadow Play on the racetrack. He was one of my favorites. He was flashy was the way to describe him, but he had the talent and the heart to back it up too. He wasn't just all looks, that's for sure. And he's passed that on, and he's produced so many good ones. And this is a colt that's doing it the right way so far. Alcatraz Blue Chip, a win and a runner-up effort through 2 qualifiers so far. Barracuda Hanover, kept a bit of an eye on him. What was your assessment of his first effort?
Yeah, I would have to go back, obviously, and watch a little closer, but raced mid-pack throughout, and you never know what their intentions are going into the first qualifier, and where he is at, and maybe what they were expecting they could possibly go. But it'll be interesting to see what the feedback is on this guy, because certainly for the Bulldog Hanovers, this is one that was circled, and you saw Jack there waiting to have a chat with Tyler Borth, get the report.
We were talking to Tyler Jones earlier, and that was one of the things that he mentioned yesterday. He had 3 that he drove for his father, Dustin, and they came in and they just had an individual target in mind. They weren't thinking about trying to win their qualifiers or anything like that. They just wanted to let them do what was comfortable and try and hit a bit of a target in the time department and just put them through the entire experience. So it depends on the barn, depends on the individual horses, where they come in here, what their expectations are. So we'll watch them. That's why we're going to follow closely over the next few weeks, and you'll see a lot of shuffling, a lot of changes. And we've already seen that. It seems from week to week there's another couple of ones sort of popping up out of the woodwork that make us shake our head and wonder what it's going to be like when they all start to meet up in stakes action down the road.
And there's some trainers that we haven't seen yet, right? That will be players, as they are each and every year, that just haven't had their babies out yet. So as much as these first few weeks can be really action-packed and filled with high numbers, there's still others that are either maybe just letting their horses take a little more time. Maybe there's something happened over the course of the winter. They're just a step behind. There'll be lots of good ones continuing to roll out over the next several weeks.
Trotters are going to cap off the morning session today of this 14-race marathon, and we hope you've enjoyed the coverage so far, and thank you all for joining us today. On the trot in the 14th and final, some more first-timers. Green 19, the one on screen, is a Green Manalishi gelding, sibling to Ivy Lynn, a productive trotter that we've seen here locally. Matt Bax, the trainer, he'll be in the driver's seat. First start again. For the back stable, I'm sure each individual is different and where they're at when they come here, so hard to know exactly what to expect from that one. And then other first-timers toward the outside. Hot Country, Muscle Mass, Colt, Stonebridge Wings, son of Archangel, both six-figure purchases from the London Classic, both with a lot of pedigree potential.
I think for Hot Country, what I find intriguing is that it was Millar Farms that purchased this son of Muscle Mass at London for $110,000. Millar Farms, Nick Galucci, they have the incredible horse of the year, Chantilly, who we get to see returning to the track tonight. They've had multiple O'Brien Award winners, but it's primarily been on the pace. And then as well with homebreds. So going to the sale, they get this son of Muscle Mass. They pay a pretty good price for him. So, I'm sure they've got some high hopes.
And Stonebridge Wings, the 7, is an Archangel, $115,000 purchase. Marcel Barrio trains this one, who was bred by Stonebridge Farm. The 5th foal from the Yankee Glide mare, Stonebridge Glider, who's produced a couple of $100,000 winners. And another good one that's on the way to earning that kind of money and a whole lot more potentially. Move Your Mass, just 13 starts into that one's career, 6-time winner already with a mark of 55-4 and continuing to improve. Stonebridge Wings could be ready to go here at first asking. A lot of fun here this morning, Mark. Let's look ahead quickly to tonight. You talked about it, the return of Chantilly. That's great news after being scratched sick out of the Fan Hanover.
Yeah, OSS Gold event coming up tonight, and she's right back in it. That'll be tonight's 8th race here at Mohawk. She's got 8 rivals to take on, and I'm sure for some of them, maybe they're hoping after being off a week. We're all hoping she comes back stronger than ever and can continue her undefeated streak. But for the others, maybe hoping this could be the night they can maybe upend her. And after what we saw last week, it's just too bad we didn't get to see her in that Fan Hanover. It was ended up being a really good race, as it turned out. It wasn't just a walkover for Mickey and Minnie.
Absolutely, yeah. Can't wait to see her back tonight. Got some grassroots action as well for 3-year-old Colt Pacers. Going to be a heck of a card tonight right here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. But one more to go this morning, 14th and final. Colt and Gelding Trotters. Here's Mark.
Number 1, Green 19, gelded son of Green Manalishi. Matt Bax trains and drives. A graduate of the Harrisburg yearling sale for $42,000 US. 2 Green Snickers, Green Manalishi Colt, Gino Toscani for Ashley Lenvoy. This one from Lexington for $20,000 US. Number 3, Beach Concert, a Green Manalishi Colt, Tyler Borth for Blake McIntosh. Beach Concert came out of Lexington for $16,000 US. Number 4 is I Am. It's going to be Doug McNair for Herb Holland. Readily Express Colt was purchased at Lexington for $9,000 US. 5 through Fire and Flames, the son of Green Manalishi, Keelan Green trains, Eddie Green drives. 6 is Hot Country, gelded son of Muscle Mass, James McDonald for Nick Galucci, $110,000 buyout of the London Classic. And 7 is Stonebridge Wings, an Archangel Colt trained by Marcel Barrio. Austin Sori drives, $115,000 buy out of the London Classic. Time to put a wrap on today's qualifying action. The 14th is set to go. Off-Stride was number 3, Beach Concert. The others are off and trotting, and McNair sends I Am to the early lead. It's I Am who strikes the front. Green 19 is at the inside through Fire and Flames, comes on through and can trot up into second. Hot Country is going to land mid-pack fourth, getting in front of Green Snickers in fifth, and then Stonebridge Wings going back to the early breaker, Beach Concert. Out in front is I Am, the son of Readily Express, and is going to show the way to the opening quarter in a time of 30-3. So I Am, who made a miscue early in his qualifying debut, is out in front here this morning. McNair got him out of there, and he's up top by 4.5 lengths. Racing in second through Fire and Flames. Third into the backstretch is Green 19. Fourth, continuing through, will be Hot Country. In front of Green Snickers, fifth. Sixth then is Stonebridge Wings, and well back to Beach Concert. Still by himself on the lead by at least 2.5 lengths. This is I Am, and I Am approaches the midway point. 30-3 was the opening quarter. Bit of a crosswind as they're by the half in a time of 1 minute and 4/5, so a little bit quicker. 30-1 in the second quarter, and it's I Am. In second through Fire and Flames has gotten a bit closer now. Sits just 2 lengths off the lead. Green 19 in the debut has been tracking along nicely. Then in fourth is Hot Country, who moved up a bit here through the middle half. We go back to the others. Green Snickers, Stonebridge Wings is looping that one, and last is Beach Concert. So the leader to 3/4 is I Am. Gets to the first 3 markers there first. This time it's 130-3, and they'll spin for home. 29-4, third quarter for I Am. In second through Fire and Flames, was trying to come on. Now needs to make up 2.5 lengths as I Am starts to get away. It's I Am to the 8th pole through Fire and Flames second. Green 19 staying behind that rival in third. Hot Country wants to follow along as well in fourth. So it's going to be I Am to wrap up today's action. I Am wins qualifier 14. In second through Fire and Flames, Green 19 was third, and Hot Country was fourth. The final time, 159-1 for the son of Readily Express, I Am.
I Am getting it done in the finale. Doug McNair picking up the drive for the Herb Holland trainee, son of Readily Express from a Cantab Hall mare. Another one who rebounded after the miscue a week ago, and always a good sign. And these are youngsters, so, it's new territory for a lot of them, maybe in week 1, and for a variety of reasons. They make a mistake, but a lot of them were able to come back and bounce back with good efforts today, including this guy. It was through Fire and Flames, holding second after getting away well, and lowered his time substantially today. Another son of Green Manalishi here. Green 19 holding down third in the debut effort. Hot Country was right there in the top grouping, finishing fourth, and Stonebridge Wings was making a nice rally on the last turn, then rolled into a break, but quickly reset and finished up pretty well too. So that is going to put a wrap on things for this morning. So we're going to quickly wrap things up here. We've got to let Mark go, head down the highway into Woodbine Racetrack for the big show today. Just a quick thought on what you saw today. Some special-looking individuals early on.
I think it's the first week where you go in and the expectations are pretty moderate, and then you kind of get blown away by a couple of them. Coming into today, my expectations were actually pretty high that we would see some pretty good performances, and it did not disappoint. So I would say that's a great day. Dr. Ian Moore is just loaded for this upcoming season with some real talented 2-year-olds. It's one of those where you can walk away and say, was the fastest of the day the most impressive? Was it someone else? That's a good sign when there's multiple candidates for your star of the card.
Yeah, for me, I guess I'll lean to the pacing side just because the speed was so impressive. But for me, Dad and Bojangles, hard to separate their efforts today. Both of them looked great. They'll be competing in different jurisdictions, likely, in the stakes program that could meet later on, though. Who knows what kind of a preview today was.
And that's a good thing, especially in a Breeders' Crown year here at Mohawk, and already with a plethora of 2-year-old stakes in those open categories. There could be some nice showdowns down the road for those stablemates.
Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. You see them there on the bottom of the screen. Great to have you all supporting the Rookie Showcase and making this coverage possible. Big thank you, of course, to Cujo Entertainment and the great team behind the scenes as well. It has been a lot of fun. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. And we'll have network coverage coming up toward the end of August. The Maple Leaf Trot will be the return of PrimeTime Racing on network TV as well on Game Plus. and our social media platforms. So we are looking forward to that. Putting the finishing touches on things today, and again, very impressive efforts all the way around. There was the fastest Bojangles. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time on Prime Time Racing.